Hers was kind of cutting out weird, but we're good. I think we'll go ahead.
Y'all ready now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry, it's fine. All right. I'm going on the air. And I'm rolling.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Pearl Pirate Athletics here on the Pirate Media Network. Tonight, a first-time broadcast as far as a full broadcast is concerned. Girls and boys soccer here at Pearl High School. We're live at Ray Rogers Stadium where the Lady Pirates and the Pirates are ready to take on the Lady Jaguars and Jaguars from Madison Central High School in soccer action tonight. I'm Darryl Palmer, DP, your play-by-play voice of Pearl Pirate Athletics. Joining me tonight for the first time, making her PMN debut, no stranger, though, to Ray Rogers Stadium and Pearl High School soccer, Miss Danielle Poe. Danielle, welcome to the broadcast. Glad to have you with us tonight.
I'm glad to be here, DP.
Danielle, of course, played soccer for Pearl High School. Now she plays at Hines Community College. She has an older sister that has been a part of some Pirate Media Network broadcasts for the last 3 years, Kristen Wyndham. But Danielle, tonight, glad to have you with us. Danielle, one thing, of course, you played soccer here at Pearl, and soccer at Pearl has a long history of some great programs. Coach Lee has been here 6 years now, really trying to build this girls program back up to championship form, has had some good seasons, though. But tonight, a tough game tonight. We're going against Madison Central. They're 4-0. They've scored 12 goals. They're yet to give up a goal this year. They're ranked number 2 in the state as we begin the early rankings in the season. The only team in the state ranked ahead of them is Tupelo. Tough game tonight for the Lady Pirates.
It is. I know for a fact that the Madison Central coach usually recruits his girls. He only takes the best, whereas Coach Lee has a tryout. Madison Central does not.
Okay. Now, recruits, of course, they still have to live within the district to go to school at Madison Central.
They do.
So he can't go outside of that. Now, they may bend a little bit. We know how a lot of sports will do that, but they have to be within the district. But he'll go out, in other words, and select girls he sees around, obviously playing youth soccer. And, of course, that's one of the things. In talking to Coach Lee, also to Coach Rash, we had some interviews. You'll get to hear those a little bit later, those listening tonight, have talked about the importance of youth soccer and when kids are playing when they're 8, 9, 10 years old, and how that really affects the quality of a high school program once it gets there. From your perspective, I don't know, when did you start playing soccer and how much did you play growing up?
I started playing when I was about 5 years old, and I've been playing ever since. Never took an off season. But I can say it is a good foundation to play in youth soccer because it teaches you the fundamentals of the game and the rules of the game, and it prepares you to come out here and play like this.
One of the things, of course, and it amazes me when I watch some of the soccer drills, and, of course, I never played soccer. I'm a lot older. No, we won't say how old, but I'm a lot older. When I grew up, we didn't have soccer. The kids played football, basketball, baseball. We had track in schools, golf, and if you were in the elite, there was golf in the schools. But that was pretty much it. I don't even remember volleyball in our schools. It was the 3 major sports, track and golf, and that was it. I played football, basketball, and baseball. I kind of waned out a little bit on the basketball because I wasn't that good. Wasn't big enough or strong enough. Played in junior high, but not in high school. Didn't play football my senior year in high school, but I played sophomore and junior years. But baseball was my sport. But all that to be said, we do anything about soccer. When I watch kids today dribble the ball with soccer, because I think dribbling, I think basketball. But of course, in soccer, they dribble the ball, and it's amazing to watch the foot control of a soccer ball. And we'll talk about that some as we go through the game tonight, because some of the skills in soccer is a skill set that's basically foreign to me, never having experienced it, other than coaching an under-6 team one year. That when I volunteered to help coach in youth soccer, they told me I'd be an assistant coach. Well, I got out there and I was the coach. There was no head coach. It was me and a bunch of under 6-year-old boys. That was an experience. I spent more time trying to keep them from chasing butterflies around the soccer field than I did actually playing soccer. But it was a lot of fun. I think we're about ready to go tonight, and we are underway. Madison Central has the ball first. They're moving from left to right as you watch on the screen. And, of course, Madison Central, as we said, 4-0 on the season. They won their first game against Florence 2-0. Sacred Heart 5-0. West Jones 1-0. Warren Central 4-0. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Lady Pirates. Now, you know some of these girls playing for Pearl, right?
I actually do. I played with some of them.
Probably played with most of them. Out of bounds again. It's another throw-in for the Lady Pirates.
And throwing the ball in is Hannah Grace Emmons, who is a sophomore.
Hannah Grace also plays softball for the Lady Pirates. I recognize that name. The ball goes all the way up into the Madison Central end, all the way to the goalkeeper, and she'll kick it out and clear it. Madison Central kicks it out of bounds. It'll be Pearl ball. Now, when we talk about the soccer field, of course, it's 120 yards long. That's the full length of the football field plus the 2 end zones, so it takes the full 120. Plus, it goes wider than the regular football field by somewhat 5 yards?
About.
On either side?
I want to say 5 yards, yeah.
So that would make it about how wide then? 55 yards, about 60. Let's say it can be anywhere from 55 to 80 is what a chart that I found said.
Well, depending on what age group you're in high school, it's going to be 55. You get to a national level, it's going to be the whole 80.
Okay. That'd be a wide field.
It really is.
Now Pearl's on the attack, trying to find a way to get the ball towards the goal. Right now it's just a lot of one-on-one action. When you're seeing that, what's really happening down there?
Well, Allison Eccles, who is on the behind this Madison Central girl, is trying to get the ball to cross it across the goal so that one of her team, the Pearl Pirates, can finish it and put it in the back of the net.
And Madison Central kicks it out of bounds again. It'll be Pearl ball. So that is, you want to get the ball, and obviously I've heard the crossing. You want to get it across the front of the net, and then something hopefully there can happen, either a header, kick, something, try to get it towards the goal. Get a shot on goal. And you said that's Hannah Grace Emmons throws the ball in.
To Courtney Nolan.
Trying to kick it across to get it. And, of course, Madison Central deflects it. Now they're going to go back on the offensive end.
And as you can see, all the Lady Pirates are now pushing back to defense.
And there's a kick down towards the goal, because that won't necessarily be considered a shot. How do you determine what's considered a shot on goal and what was one just like that just kind of kicked in the area?
Well, a shot on goal is usually on the frame of the net.
Okay. So it's got to be somewhere within the framework of the goal or the frame of the net, somewhere in that vicinity to be considered a shot on goal.
That's right.
Now, sometimes I've noticed, like now we've got the Madison Central on the attack. Now they clear it back out some. Of course, the defender usually will try to just get it cleared back away from the end of the goal like that kick. Just see, clears it, kicks it all the way back across midfield, and then you just get it out of the way. Now, Madison Central kicks it back into the goalie. Why do that instead of just turn it back around?
Well, whenever you send it all the way back to your keeper, that's giving your team time to recuperate, get back in position, and set up to attack.
So, in other words, if she takes it there at the 35 area where she was on the football field and tried to turn it back around on her own, she's by herself.
Basically, and there could be a player anywhere.
Right. And that to throw in, the Lady Pirate kicked it back out of bounds, so now it'll be Madison Central's throw in. 40-minute halves. Do want to welcome our viewers and listeners now on television and radio. We had some issues getting everything up and going with the television on PMB TV 18 as well as radio WPBP 104.5 FM. We welcome you to our broadcast. We're live at Ray Rogers Stadium, home of the Pirates, where the Lady Pirates are playing the Lady Jaguars of Madison Central in soccer. The Lady Jags of Madison Central, the number 2 ranked team in the state. The Lady Pirates unranked. The Lady Pirates 1-1 coming into this game. Madison Central 4-0. We're just underway. Been going about 5 minutes. Lady Pirates try to get the ball down and try to clear it out. Miss on that kick. Now it's one kick towards the goal. Goalie's not ready to come out. Now she'll come out and attack and get the ball and clear it out. Who is the goalkeeper for the Lady Pirates?
The goalkeeper is Holly Cobb, and she's a junior. And
She played last year with you?
she was the backup keeper
Okay.
my senior year. So
Getting the start. Who was the starter last year?
Carly Blakely.
Okay.
She transferred here from Brandon.
A kick across the end line, which will bring a corner kick from Madison Central. This is one of the better scoring opportunities a lot of times as far as from any kind of play, isn't it, Chris? Isn't it, Danielle?
It is, DP. This is basically what you want to do when you get the ball all the way down the field. You want to get to the outside, let everybody get in, and try to finish it in the goal.
So with the corner kick, obviously you give everybody a chance to get set, and you got a girl with a free kick towards the center of the field, and then just anything can happen, as we said, once that ball crosses in front of the goal. Really tough on a keeper at that point.
Well, besides a penalty kick, that is probably the scariest thing for a goalie because they have no clue where the ball's coming from because there are so many people in their box.
Good point, because with it coming across, and it could be anybody from the near side of the goal, middle of it, all the way to the other side that might a header or a kick or something. So you're good point. Got to be ready for anything.
It's another corner kick, and they just...
Now that time they chose, rather than kick it across, just to put it in play. And there's a goal by the Madison Central Lady Jaguars. I didn't see who kicked it. But again, they played it instead of the corner kick and just clearing it all the way into the front. They kind of dribbled it in and then got a pass in and a kick to the goal. And the goalkeeper just couldn't make the play on it.
But she did try.
I
give her that.
That's it. So Madison Central takes a lead with 33:05 to go in the first half. They lead 1-0.
All right. And the Lady Jaguar who scored that was Ross Black, number 18.
Okay.
So
She is a senior at Madison Central. Pearl ball on the Pearl end now, but Madison Central trying to clear it and take it back the other way. That ball is deflected. Will go out of bounds. It'll be Madison Central on the throw in on the far side. Now, one of the things a lot of people watching soccer, of course, probably a lot of them watching may have kids playing and may even understand it better than I do, but a lot of times when you watch soccer, it looks like you just got 22 players or 20 players with the two goalies, but 20 players just running around, kicking the ball and trying to hit it towards the goal. But there's a lot more to it than that. As there's an attempt down as Madison Central trying to get it in the goal area. Now they get it right in the front, and there's another goal just out of the reach of the diving goalkeeper. Could not get to that one. Another goal by Madison Central. They go up 2-0 with 31:50 to go in the half. But it's really more to it than just 20 players scrambling around kicking the ball. There's a lot of sets and plays and everybody going to their proper directions, things like that, right?
there are so many combinations, and it's not just running. You really do have to be in shape for this sport, but you also have to be able to watch the ball, watch the player, know where to put the ball, know where the ball is at, know where the ball is going to go. You have to have like a sixth sense to know everything that's going on out there.
And, of course, legally you can't run into an opponent.
Legally,
much.
you can't, but if it looks like you're going for the ball,
You get
you
away
can
with
get
a
away
little,
with it.
some contact, but technically it's a non-contact sport.
Actually, it is considered a contact
is it considered
sport.
a contact sport?
Well, only because if a player has the ball, another player can be on their back, and they can actually be touching them as long as their hands are not up.
Okay. Throw in now for Pearl on the far side, near midfield. Ball's kicked out of bounds once again. It'll be Madison Central ball on the far side. Now on the throw in, you're just literally trying to get it into one of your players to try to set up then some sort of play. Is that right?
That's right, and this is also the only time a field player who's not the goalie can touch the ball.
And there's a certain way they have to throw it in too.
They
you have
have
to keep both feet on the ground, and you have to throw it over your head. Is that correct?
It has to come completely behind your head, and you have to throw it in.
Now it's kicked in towards the Madison Central goalie. She'll clear it out. Back off a Pearl player as they try to maintain the offensive possession. There's a header towards the left side. Pearl trying to get on the offense and try to force something, down 2-0. They've only got one goal up on the scoreboard. Out of bounds.
That is a free kick for Madison Central.
So what happened to cause that?
Allison Eccles was on the girl's back and tripped her.
Okay.
That's where it can get, if you trip a player like that, that's when it can get called.
Now, if you're going to have a free kick, this is where you want to have it from. Is that right?
If you want a free kick, for your team,
you want to be
you
right.
want it in the
That's
box.
what I'm saying. If you're giving them a free kick, that's where you want it. It's down on this end, way away. There's nothing really dangerous about a free kick at that point.
Exactly. That way they cannot be anywhere near the goal.
Long kick. Madison Central goal going after, and that was offsides. I believe, was that called? Is that correct?
That is offsides.
How about that? I knew that much.
I'm very proud of you.
Now, explain offsides, though. Anytime, if I get it right now, anytime one of the offensive players is going for the ball is in front of the first defensive player without the ball, she can't be, isn't that right? Something along that line?
Technically, if the offensive player is behind the last defender.
Yeah.
And the only person behind them is the opposing keeper.
Right. And she doesn't have the ball in her possession.
She does not have the ball, and the ball is played to her.
Right.
That is considered offsides.
Okay.
But there are ways around that. If you send it at an angle and you start from behind the defenders,
right,
and you get it behind them, then it is considered fair game.
Okay. But if she has the ball and she's dribbling it up the field, running with it, then it doesn't matter whether she's ahead or behind the player at all. Then,
does not matter.
As long as she basically possesses the ball.
Very proud of you.
How about that?
I'm impressed.
Y'all heard that, folks. I just impressed Danielle. 28 minutes to go here in the first half. Madison Central shot on goal
And
over the top
in.
of our goalkeeper, and she couldn't reach it. It's 3-0. Now Madison Central leading as we cross 27-57 in the first half. And that wasn't much she could do about that one. That was just too tall for her, wasn't it?
I guess so.
It looked like it went right over the top of her.
That can happen.
And I don't know if I can't tell if she's tall enough to jump up and reach the crossbar. I would think so, but maybe not. How tall is the crossbar on the goal?
Well, I want to say about 10 feet maybe. No, it can't be 10.
I'm being told 8.
That's what I'm thinking. I was about to say 8. Because I can touch it if I jump.
I was looking to see if any of my charts I printed out had that on it, but I don't see that one.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. He printed off charts for this.
Look, I do my homework.
Well, I'm very proud of you. Not many other people will.
I mean, see, I have referee signals. I have position descriptions. I mean, I can tell you a central defender is a player who guards the area directly in front of their own goal, often considered the strongest defender. Now, I do my homework whether I'm doing soccer or football, basketball. I'm always going to try to prepare as best I can. And once again, kicked into the Madison Central goalie. She'll clear it out. Madison Central trying to get the ball back and take it to the offensive end. They do get it out towards midfield, a little cross midfield. Now, one of the things, too, that I've noticed from what little soccer I've watched is for the ball to be out of bounds, the ball has to be out of bounds. The player can go out of bounds and kick it, but as long as the ball doesn't cross the line, it's not out of bounds.
And some refs will not even let it, if it touches the line, if it is on the line, they will call it out.
If the ball
those are the really Tukey refs. Free kick for Madison Central.
From the far side, kicking it in towards the goal, and it's going to go high and up over the goal.
Bet you that goalie's happy about that.
Exactly, because it clears over the top. And so now this is called a goal kick that she's been doing. That right?
This is. And usually the strongest defender will clear the ball out.
In other words, the one that can kick it the farthest.
And the hardest.
Okay. You want to try to make sure and get it all the way to the other end, or as
close
much
to
as you can. Some of the bigger, stronger players, I guess more so in boys soccer, you'll see them kick one up to midfield or beyond.
That boys, being a girl, I will admit this, boys have more muscle than girls, and it takes less effort for them to clear the ball up the field and get it farther than we can.
And there's a shot on goal up over the top and across the end line, which that's just a physiological fact.
It
that
is.
the muscle mass of boys is larger than that of girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't really say anything else about that one.
Once again, a goal kick for the Lady Pirates. Now, they've got an option here. You can have somebody kick it deep, or the goalie can throw it. Is that not correct?
Not on a goal kick.
Okay.
That's whenever the goalie stops it from going in and she
Okay.
possesses it in her hands.
Then she can throw it.
Then she can either throw it or punt it. But
Okay.
on a goal kick, you have to kick it, and
Okay.
it has to be outside of the 18 box.
Okay. Now all the way to the other end, the Madison Central goalie will clear it straight to a Pearl Lady Pirate. Pirates yet to get a good offensive attack. Couple of times down on the end, but never been able to actually clear the Madison Central defender and get a realistic shot on goal. Now just a little move there that number 15, Kate Yaley Broha made. Just where you got the ball, you kind of step over it, kick it again with the other foot, and change direction. That's the little things that I look at. That takes a lot of practice, doesn't it?
It does, but sometimes when you're so into the game, you will do moves that normally you cannot do. And that move right there is actually called a step over.
A step over, okay. Which is one of the more basic moves in soccer, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
is.
Madison Central trying to get an offensive attack. They lead. Well, they've got 2 on the scoreboard, but I'm thinking it's 3.
I thought it was 3-2.
That we had. Yeah, there is 3 that have gone into the net that we watched. Ball going down into towards the corner. Madison Central chasing after it. Mackenzie Adams will get it back. Cross in front of the goal and just missing on attempt on goal. Still in the box. And Pearl trying to clear it and do. They finally get it cleared out.
Right to a Madison Central player.
But at least you dodged the immediate threat. You still got a threat there, but the immediate one is gone. We do have our scoreboard correct, even though it's not correct here at Ray Rogers Stadium.
Well, that's because we're on top of things
That's
here.
right. And there's a shot, and the goalie does come out and take the ball in her hands. And now you said she has the option to either throw it or kick it. She chooses to punt it. And they don't get it cleared out. Madison Central retains possession on their offensive end. And a shot on goal.
And it is in.
And it is in. Into the corner on the near side with 22-28 to go in the first half. It's now 4-0. Madison Central leading the Lady Pirates. And this is something not totally unexpected, knowing what Madison Central's coming in. Again, they're the second best team in the state based on the early season rankings. So a really, really talented soccer program this year.
They always have a talented soccer program. I think the last time Pearl beat Madison Central was on this very field when it was still just grass, regular grass, back in 2008.
So 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Almost 5 years ago.
And were you playing then?
I was. That
You were
was
freshman?
my freshman year.
Okay.
And we beat them, and that was the first time we had beaten a 5A school. And it was Madison
At that time,
Central.
Pearl was 4A. That was before Pearl went to 5A, and that was before they formed the 6A classification.
That's correct. Yep.
Good deal. You have a good memory.
I will always remember
Well,
that.
there are certain games like that you always remember.
That was also the senior game.
Okay.
So our backup goalie, who had never started a game, was starting, and she stopped a lot of goals, and we
Wow.
beat them 3-2.
Of course, you look around, and that's one thing that we talked earlier about the youth soccer programs. The ball goes out of bounds, it'll be Pearl ball on the throw-in. We talk about youth soccer programs, and you look at the Madison County youth programs, look at the Northwest Rankin youth programs, the Pearl youth programs, the Brandon youth programs, Clinton youth programs. That's why they have such great soccer programs year in, year out. It's because of kids from when they're 5 years old grow up playing youth soccer. And by the time they get to high school, the coaches just have to mold them into the team he wants.
Well, actually, that is true, but at Pearl and Brandon and places like that, these girls have grown up playing with each other. So they know how each other works.
Right.
The only difference is with Madison Central, like I have said, they are select players.
Okay.
They've either played against each other or with each other. They just have talent.
Right.
But if we go by the youth soccer standings, Pearl actually has the most state championships in the state of Mississippi.
Really?
We do. We have close to 30, I think,
Wow.
or more.
It's pretty impressive.
Remember. My name's on 5 of those.
Of course it is.
Just got to throw that out there.
Well, that's why you're up here tonight, because I knew you were an expert in soccer.
I am.
And now Pearl has got a goal kick, and they're not sure why the stoppage for things there. Was there, they make a substitution, I think, on the far side?
I believe so.
Now Pearl clears the ball into the Madison Central end. Again, Madison Central's leading now 4-0. We're 19 minutes. We're halfway through this first half of play. 2 40-minute halves. We'll have the boys' game following this game. Now, notice the three officials. One stays pretty much in the middle of the field with the players, and the other two just strictly down the sides, and then, of course, toward the end. So each kind of like in football, each have their own responsibilities as to who's guarding what or who's watching what.
That's right. The center ref, his name is Tony, and he's the head ref.
Okay.
And then you have his 2 assistant refs to see things on the sideline or things in the box that he cannot see. And they're the ones who tell him if someone is offsides, because they can see if they were behind the player or not.
Right. And we've got a corner kick now from Madison Central from the far side. Looks like number 22, Jaden Gardner, will be doing the kick. And she's going to kick one right out in front of the goal. And Madison Central's going to get a chance. Deflected by a Pearl player and will go across the end line. I think that's going to
be a goal kick for Pearl. Or another corner.
Maybe if it went off a Pearl player.
It was deflected off of a Pearl player.
Another corner kick for Madison Central. Now, obviously, we saw from the far corner, the girl, she's right-footed. She kicks it. She can hook it into the goal, get a better chance. So is there a better corner to kick from? Obviously, you're a right-footed kicker, because it's harder to slice it than it is to hook it, isn't it?
Well, actually, yes, that is true.
Okay.
And she is a right-footed kicker, but you have a better chance getting it to the far corner from where you are.
Okay.
And if you're in the center, your best bet is to pick a side and go with it.
Pearl does clear it out to midfield. Madison Central regains the ball at the midfield area. And now they'll try to set up. I mean, they're not just kicking it away. So they're trying to set up a play now. Is that correct?
They are. They're trying to get everybody back organized to where they're supposed to be and see if they can get another goal in. And Pearl gets the ball now.
Pearl deflects it away, and Madison Central gets it back, tries to get it in towards the goal area. Clears it back to the side. And that's where an awaiting Pearl player is, and she'll get it, clear it to the other end. That ball kicked hard, but straight off of a Pearl player as they try to get it into attack mode. Center the ball, now kick off of the deflected off number 7, Lauren Ashworth. One thing I say about the Pearl jerseys, they're real hard to see numbers.
It is.
When you wear white numerals on a gold shirt, it makes the numbers real hard to pick up. That's one thing from an announcer standpoint. They don't always ask us when they select fashion for uniforms.
They usually ask the players because I was a part of that.
Yeah. It just makes, as you see now from a press box level, those are hard to pick up sometimes.
They really are.
Pearl trying to get on the attack, and unfortunate there. Hannah Grace just let it go off of her and out of bounds. And that's what you call the unforced mistake, wasn't it?
Well, if you notice, Madison Central, they play calm. They pass the ball to feet. They're not kicking the ball in the air a lot. Mm-hmm. Whereas Pearl, they're kind of more jumpy, probably got butterflies in their stomach. Some of these are freshmen starting high school, and I know from experience that is scary. And they're just getting the ball in the air. What they need to do is just calm down.
So now when you talk about getting, I'm seeing right now Madison Central, the ball is pretty much rolling across the ground as they pass it from side to side, move it between players.
And is getting to people's
and now's
feet.
a shot towards the goal, and the goalkeeper comes out and grabs it and picks it up, saves that attack. So that's Holly Cobb in the goal. She'll punt it out to try to clear it. But so the preferred way is to try to keep it on the ground as much as possible.
That is, and to also not hold the ball for too long. Because if you can make passes quick, it will tire the other team out. If you see Pearl is tired, and Madison Central really isn't.
And that premise, obviously, the pass, the ball can move a lot faster than a person can run.
Yes, that is.
So by passing, you can move the ball farther area quicker than you can by dribbling it.
Especially on turf, because everything moves faster on turf.
Right.
And then if you have it rain, it skips, and you never know where it's going to go.
Madison Central once again on the attack, trying to move it into the scoring area. And on a Pearl in, across it down the end line, trying to come back to the center, right in the middle. And a good play by Holly Cobb to block that one and get the ball and clear it out in a hurry.
And she throws it up to Whitney Green, who passes it out to Maddie Perkins, who does not get there in time.
And that's one thing you've got to outrun the other girl to the ball at times.
You have to. Usually your midfielders are good at distance running, but your forwards and your defenders are really good at speed.
Okay.
Because they have to get back or get forward quicker than other people.
Madison Central back on the offensive end. Good job of working the ball. Now it's working it into the right corner. As now she'll try to set it back up, get it back to the center, and does. Shot on goal. Good job. Holly Cobb dives to the far side post and grabs that one. Good play there, wasn't it?
That really was. I mean, I thought they were about to have another one. And I was getting a little scared.
Now Pearl trying to get the ball back across midfield. They do. The Madison Central defenders there and ready. Takes it back the other way quickly.
And also another thing that Madison Central is doing that Pearl isn't is they are talking out there. They're letting people know where the open pass is and where the opposing players are, whereas Pearl is not.
So basically with this, is this a difference in experience probably right now between Pearl and Madison Central?
It's probably a difference in who's more nervous, because
Okay.
I know when I'm nervous, I do not talk. I get so scared.
Now,
But
of course,
then once you calm down and get comfortable, you're reminded to talk, and then it comes naturally then.
goes out of bounds. It'll be Pearl ball on the throw in. Now with that, of course, we've been going now for 28 minutes. At what point in a game, obviously you come into a game, you know you're playing the second best team in the state. There's some nerves there. You know how good they are. We talk about it in football, talk about it in baseball. I've heard it talked about even in basketball. First few plays you get in, then the nerves are gone. You just end the flow of a game. At soccer, with girls soccer, is there a point that happens, that you forget who you're playing and you just end of the flow and can get rid of the nerves, or is it's still there 28 minutes in?
Well, most players their nerves will just leave, but other players, I mean, you're playing Madison Central. We have not beat them since
08.
'08, like I said, and you know that, and you get in your head, oh, well, we've lost to them, and that team's already in your head then.
And then they go up 4-0 early in the game, and that just makes even more pressure, I guess.
Exactly.
Pearl trying to get the ball out of the Madison Central end. And they do get it across midfield as we near the 10-minute mark in the first half. And Madison Central immediately is going to get it back out to midfield and take it back to their end of the field. And one thing I noticed there, the strength of the goalkeeper's leg for Madison Central. She kicked it from almost the 18 all the way out to midfield. Pretty strong kick.
Well, that is true, but the ball was also rolling.
True.
If the ball is rolling to you, it's really easier to kick it as far as you can.
It's just like in baseball, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball is easier to hit back out the park than a 70.
Yep.
Just off the top of the crossbar on a kick on goal. It'll go out of bounds on the far side. It should be Pearl throw in. We have a moth in our booth, and our executive producer is frantically trying to capture him and remove him from the premises.
It's like a cat and mouse in here.
He won't give up either.
His eyes on it.
He will get him before the night's over.
I believe
Either
it.
that or the moth will have a heart attack and die.
I think he'll get him first.
I think so too. And I'm not sure what. I think we have another substitute. We do have a substitution taking place for Madison Central.
They're running around in the middle.
And that was a Madison Central throw in on the far side, and Pearl's going to try to clear it. Madison Central stops it, keeps it back on their end. Now the header's the one thing to me when I watch, it just seems to me take the most talent is to know when, where, how, because you do it with the direction. It's not just hitting it with your head to stop it.
You have to flick your head in the direction you want it to go. You have to keep your eyes open because if you don't see where it's hitting your head, then you don't know where it's going. And that's the hardest part when a ball's coming at your head and it's really hard. You know it's about to hit and it's cold.
A long kick on the goal from out at the 25-yard line, and the referee was pointing. I think it's just going to be a goal kick for the Pirates. It is. It went over the top of the goal. She hit that one from about the 30-yard line, which is about a 40-yard attempt on goal. And now we've got, looks like a substitution for the Pirates. Number 14, Sammy Abrams going into the game.
For Courtney Nolan, number 22. I couldn't find her number on there. Played with her for years, but I don't know her number.
So you know the girl by looking at her. I have to see the number.
Well, I have played with these girls.
That's true.
Some of these, I mean, they had just started the team last year when I was here, so.
And some of them you played with for probably 3 or 4 or 5 years.
That's right. Courtney was on the team when Coach Lee first came here.
Okay.
So this is his last senior class. These were the 7th graders when he was here.
So he's had these girls all the way through.
Oh, yes, sir.
And now an opportunity for Pearl if we can just get to the ball.
That's Allison Eccles.
She crosses over and tries to take it back to the middle. Got a girl right there in the front. If they can just get it to her, she wait on the ball. There's a kick. It's going to be wide.
Ooh.
I did notice, I don't know the girl who she is that was up on the nearest to the goal, but I noticed she kept waiting to keep the Madison defender up even with her instead of getting ahead, hoping she might get a chance for the ball to come to her.
It's usually better to be a little bit behind them because they're not going to see you.
Right.
If you're right here, but if you're right in line with them, they can just glance over and see you, whereas if you're a little bit behind them, it's like you're driving a car if they're in your blind spot.
Right. And it looked like she was trying to stay in that girl's blind spot. Ball goes straight up into the air. Madison Central looks like a good hustle there by number 14, Sammy Abrams, to get up there and keep Madison Central from just advancing. And sometimes just kicking it out is a good move because it does stop it and give your defense a chance to get set. Is that right?
And to catch their breath. We were taught at a young age, when in doubt, kick it out.
I like that. 6 minutes to go in the first half. We've got the scores 4-0. Again, on the scoreboard here, they still got 3, but I think they missed one.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they're over there having coffee or something.
Where's ours? Our hot chocolate.
I don't know. Where's our lackey?
We need to find him. Now Pearl has the ball on the offensive end. Madison Central is going to regain possession and kick it back out to midfield. We'll do 2 more soccer broadcasts this year. We're going to do Clinton in a couple of weeks, and then I think Northwest Rankin will be our last one that we do. I think of the 3 soccer that we're looking at doing.
Are they both going to be at home?
They'll all be here at Ray Rogers Stadium. We're going to do Northwest Rankin on December the 8th. We're going to do a Clinton on November the 27th. So we'll get Madison Central, Clinton, and Northwest Rankin, all 3 here at Ray Rogers Stadium. We'll carry those games.
And those are all 6A schools.
Right.
And Clinton got knocked out by the Brandon girls last year for the state. The semifinals of state, they got knocked out. So they're a pretty good team because I play with a couple of their players.
Now Pearl has a chance on an attack. Got numbers if they can get there. They got 3 on 2. If they can just get it into the middle, there's a shot. She kicks it straight toward the goal. The goalkeeper comes out and takes it. Now, on a situation like that, she takes it, kicks it from the side. She had 2 girls coming in the lanes up the center. Would it not have been better to cross it into the center? And let
I believe that's what she was trying to do.
Okay.
Sometimes if you do not turn your hips right,
Yep.
the ball will not go the right direction. You have to turn your hips the direction you want it to go.
And now Madison Central's back with an offensive chance as they've got numbers. 3 on 2, kick towards the goal. It hits the crossbar and is going to bound. Still in play. Madison Central's going to chase it, and she will not get there in time. It'll be a throw-in for the Pirates.
Bet you that goalie's happy about that one, too.
That was close. But that's what I was thinking back on this last attempt by Pearl, because from what I was looking at is I saw we had numbers. We had 3 on 2, and everybody's running full speed. If she could kick it across the front, give either the girl in the middle or the one on the far side, either one a chance to come back with it, you have a better chance of getting the goalie out of position.
She should have crossed it about when she got to the 25 on the Madison Central side and got it to the very back corner because there was a girl running with no one on her.
Right.
And that would have been a perfect play because nobody sees her over there. I doubt the goalie was even noticing it because the goalie's eyes and the defender's eyes are always on the ball.
Right. Madison Central back on the attack. And she beats the girl there. Now it's kicked back by Pearl, and it's going to go across the end line. So the Madison Central girl just lets it because she wants to take that corner kick.
They know that a corner kick is probably their best bet of getting one more goal before the half.
2.5 minutes to go in the half. Of course, now you get a chance to set your offense right in front of the goal. There's the kick. It's going to be high across the front of the goal and missed. And will go all the way to the other side. And a Madison Central player is still down. She's still down on the ground, yet to get up. And I'm looking to see if the referee's fixing to stop the play. He does. That is number 1 from Madison Central, Eduardo Animale.
That's about how I would pronounce it.
We'll go with that. And she is hurt. Looks like looking at her left leg. Now the Madison Central coach, it appears, is going out to, looks like to maybe looking for a trainer. The trainer was probably busy taping up a boy's leg or ankle or something. And now they do have a trainer coming that direction to check on her.
Our very own Daryl.
One of the, is that?
I believe that is Daryl.
That is Daryl.
Your twin?
That's right. And this is one of the few times the clock stops in soccer.
In high school soccer, they stop the clock at 2 minutes because they go off the referee time because he does stoppage time, which right now he has stopped his clock.
Okay.
In collegiate soccer, they let it go out, and the buzzer's what sounds the end of the half of the game.
Okay. Now the referee's coming to the near side, say something to Coach Lee. Now, is this kind of where he's letting him know how much stoppage time he's figured or something like that? Because don't they let the coach know?
Well, mainly he's probably going to tell him that when it's half. But usually if something happens like that and the Pearl team was in possession like that, they will have the Madison Central team play it back to the keeper and let Pearl just have possession of it.
Now, did you say they said it's half?
That's half.
Okay, so that is the first half. Pearl trails Madison Central 4-0. We're going to step away. I think we've got an interview we're going to let you watch. Well, actually, we did not get that interview, so we're going to let you just watch some action maybe listen to some music, but we'll be back for the second half in a few moments. Don't go anywhere. Pearl and Madison Central High School Soccer here at Ray Rogers Stadium on the Pirate Media Network.
It was once called East Jackson, but the city of Pearl's been coming into its own ever since then. The folks at the Pearl Chamber of Commerce are proud of their city and want to give you just a few facts to consider. For instance, its commitment to excellence in education with Pearl's public schools and the Rankin branch of Hines Community College. It's a community whose people are grounded in faith and family. Consider Pearl's political contributions. Ray Rogers and Dean Kirby in the state legislature, and U.S. Congressman Greg Harper's district headquarters in his hometown of Pearl. It's become a handsome east entrance to the metro area on I-20 with shopping places like Bass Pro and the new Sam's Club, and Trustmark Park, home of the Mississippi Braves. The State Fire Academy is in Pearl, and so is the state headquarters of MEMA and other government agencies. The newly elected slate of city officials is excited about Pearl and making it an even better place. It's come a long way from being just a quaint little neighborhood east of Jackson. The city of Pearl, a city creating its own future.
Hometown Spotlight is sponsored by the Pearl Chamber of Commerce.
Harvey's Fish Hut is located on the corner of Airport Road and Old Whitfield Road in Pearl, Mississippi. Harvey's prides itself on having the best fried catfish in the metro area, as well as tasty pan trout. Harvey's Fish Hut only serves quality Mississippi farm-raised catfish. Dine-in or carry-out, Harvey's Fish Hut is always served hot and fresh, open Monday through Saturday for both lunch and dinner. So stop by and see Willie Harvey at Harvey's Fish Hut on the corner of Airport Road and Old Whitfield Road, or call to place your order at 601-939-6262. 601-939-6262.
Two down out there, two down.
Sometimes coming home can be a battle in itself. Our wounded warriors need everyone's support to meet the challenges they face every day. The USO provides every American a way to support them and their families.
What?
It's good to be back.
Join us. Visit USO.org to learn how you can make a difference in the lives of our wounded warriors. The USO, until everyone comes home.
Serving Mississippi since 1967, Mississippi Bonding Company is prepared to help in your time of need. Our agents are the quickest, most efficient, and most educated bail bonds agents in the area. We use state-of-the-art computer equipment and services to process all applications, credit cards, and deliver the necessary documents to get your friends and family released as quickly as possible. All jails, all courts, statewide and nationwide service, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. In trouble? Call Mississippi Bonding Company right now and let our professional agents help.
It's easy to have concerns about your cooling and heating system in the middle of summer, especially when you live in the Deep South. My friends at Hermetic Rush Services recommend you let them take away these worries when you call Hermetic Rush Services at 601-932-7874 for all your residential and commercial cooling and heating needs. You'll feel smarter from the shoulders up and a whole lot more comfortable head to toe. Hermetic Rush Services, where Rush is our middle name. Call them today, 601-932-7874.
Hi, I'm Darryl Palmer, play-by-play broadcaster for Pearl Pirate Athletics, and I've got the privilege and the honor to be sitting here today with the voice of the Pearl Pirates, Ray Rogers. Ray, thanks for being here and welcome.
Well, thank you, DP, for inviting me to come on the show with you. And I just want to tell you on behalf of the people of Pearl that I can say that we really appreciate the contribution that you're making to Pearl Pirate football. Everyone enjoys listening to you on Friday night.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's a lot of fun. I love doing it, and it's amazing how many people I talk to out in the community when I tell them I'm broadcasting for Pearl Pirates. They say, isn't Ray Rogers doing that?
Yeah.
I said, now, don't worry, I'm not replacing Ray Rogers. Ray has still got his seat and will have for as long as he's there.
Well, I think they confuse me as being the public address announcer,
right,
and you being the radio man,
right?
You know, and of course I've been doing the public address announcing now. This is my 48th year, and
so you're getting up there close to Jack Crystal now.
Well, Yeah, I think Jack Crystal retired at about 56 years.
Something like that.
I don't know whether I can make it that long or not.
We're rooting for you to make it that long.
Well, thank you.
Ray, I do want to take some time here to talk a little bit about some history for Pearl Pirate football, because I know you've been around Pearl Pirate football literally since it began.
That's right.
The school started in 1948, didn't have a football team that year. The first football season was the 49-50 school year. Take me back a little bit to the beginning and kind of tell us how it got started and a little bit about that.
Well, I'd be glad to. This is something that's very dear to my heart and something that I'm very proud to have been a part of, and that was the beginning of Pearl High School and, of course, the beginning of Pearl Pirate football.
Right.
But back in about 46 or 47, a bond issue was passed to build a high school in Pearl. We only went through the 9th grade.
Okay.
And students that finished the 9th grade was bused over to Jackson and went to Jackson Central High. And whenever the bond issue was passed and they started building the school, it was completed for us to move in 1948. Now, like you said, in the 1948-49 school year, we didn't have a football team. We did have a basketball and a baseball team.
Okay.
But it took a year for all of us guys who didn't know a thing in the world about football to be trained how to even lace up the shoulder pads,
right,
and put on all the equipment and stuff like that, much less the blocking and tackling techniques and things like that. We had a young man that was hired to come in here. He's a graduate, almost as young as some of us students were. He was a graduate of Murray State, Kentucky.
Okay.
Name was James Cooper, and he was our first football coach. And in the first football season, which is the 49-50 school year, he led us to a 3-6-1 record,
okay,
which was pretty good.
Lost 6, and
we won 3, lost 6, and tied 1. That big tie was the last game of the year on Thanksgiving Day, 0-0 with the Brandon Bulldogs.
Brandon Bulldogs.
And that's where that rivalry started.
Right.
Brandon had been playing football for many years before us. And we went over to Brandon that day and played them to a 0-0 tie. Thought we had won the Super Bowl. We really thought we'd done something.
You were there.
I was there. That's exactly
one
right.
Thing I want to ask you,
but I captained and quarterbacked the first team.
That's pretty impressive. Now, I do want to mention, we talked about the Brandon and the rivalry that's there.
Yeah.
After however many years since 1949, and I want to go back to a thought with that, but now we have the leather helmet, the trophy that's there. Tell me a little bit about that. And you didn't actually wear a leather helmet, but you did tell me that the helmet y'all wore didn't have face masks.
That's right. No, we wasn't that far back. Now the helmets that we wore wasn't much better than the leather helmet.
Okay.
It was kind of between a leather plastic.
Okay.
Hard plastic, but nothing like they have today, of course.
Oh, they're high tech now.
Right. But no, we didn't have face guards.
Okay.
And it wasn't very long into a ball game, especially the linemen, that probably after about the third or fourth play, all of your linemen had busted noses and busted lips and everything else. And if you was able to play a full ball game, whether you was a lineman or a back, without getting a busted nose or a busted lip, then you was a Superman.
I bet you were.
Yes.
Now, talk a little bit about that Brandon-Pearl rivalry, because I think you've told me before that y'all played that year. It was 0-0, and it may have been a couple more years, but then y'all had to stop playing for a few years.
We did. We played, I think it was 4 years.
Okay.
And it just became such a rivalry, not with just the schools, between the schools, but between our fans.
Right.
That the Mississippi Activities Association wanted us to cool it for a couple of years. So they made us quit playing.
Wow.
And that really broke both of us' hearts.
I bet it did.
It really did. And it wasn't until after the first football season, but that we weren't able to play each other, that we started, working on the Activities Association to let us go back to playing each other.
How many years did they?
2.
Just 2 years.
2 years, and then they let us go back. And of course, we started back just like
didn't miss a beat with the rivalry.
No, sir, not a beat. And I tell everybody all the time, that's been one of the greatest rivalries probably in the state of Mississippi in high school football. it surely is ranked in the top 15.
Oh, no doubt.
Because of the Y'alls versus Us
Right.
books that came out, ranked us in the top 15. But that's what it is. It's a rivalry between two neighboring schools in the same county. And I tell everybody, I said, you know, over those 62 years, I've made as many friends in Brandon out of that rivalry
Sure.
as anywhere in the state of Mississippi or in Rankin County. And I tell everybody, we're not enemies.
Right.
We're just arch rivals.
Exactly.
Which makes for just a great tradition.
Well, one of the things I heard the two mayors say when they actually introduced this trophy, and heard Mayor Tim Coulter and Mayor Brad Rogers make the comment that for 51 weeks out of the year, we can be best friends.
That's right.
But when it comes to Pearl Brandon Week, then, hey, it's
No, that's it.
We're ready.
That's it. That's
right
it.
now, when did it first become Pearl Pirates? How did the pirate become the mascot for Pearl?
Well, it was Pearl Pirates from the very beginning
Okay.
of the high school. During the time that the school was being built, well, the students that knew there was going to be coming to Pearl, the principal that had been hired, Mr. L.W. Bright,
Okay.
was instrumental in calling all of the high school students, which now DP was less than 60.
Okay. And the whole high school.
In the whole high school.
Right.
Less than 60 students. Calling them all together, or as many as he could get. And we met, and he gave us the opportunity to choose the colors and the mascot.
Okay.
And the colors and the mascot came recommended by a study committee of the senior group.
Okay.
And they came with the blue and gold and came with the pirate. And of course it was voted on pretty much unanimously, the pirate was.
Okay.
And but it's a long story about that pirate now. We had a young man. Do we have time to go into this?
Absolutely. We got all the time.
We had a young man by the name of Floyd Scherer. Floyd was a great athlete, but at the age of 16 years old, he went off and joined the Merchant Marines, volunteered,
Okay.
and joined the Merchant Marines, and traveled the world for about a year and a half. And it was during that time that he got several tattoos put on his body.
Right.
And one of the tattoos was a large stand-up tattoo that went from his knee down to his ankle.
Okay.
And it was a pirate. And the ink was in blue and gold.
Really?
That's right.
My dad over there.
Welcome back to Pearl Pirate Athletics. It's Pearl Pirates Soccer tonight. We're live at Ray Rogers Stadium with girls soccer. The Lady Pirates taking on the Lady Jaguars from Madison Central. Just underway in the second half. Pearl trailing Madison Central 4-0. As after the half. Now, Danielle, you played for Coach Lee last year. You got halftime. You're down 4-0 against the second best team in the state. Well, hang on just a second. Pearl looks like they're trying to get something going, trying to get it out of the way. Madison Central has it on their end. What kind of things would Coach Lee say to the girls at half, down 4-0 to Madison Central?
Coach Lee would probably tell them that they're playing good, but Coach Brusco would come back and say, no, you're not. I'm just kidding. Coach Lee would tell them how they're really playing, and that they need to just settle down and just calm down and play the game that they know how to play. And that his favorite phrase is, act like you're a shark in blood-infested water. And you're going after that ball and that goal.
Act like you're a shark in blood-infested waters. Okay? Pearl has a throw-in, and that's a, in my opinion, and again, I'm no soccer aficionado, but that was a bad mistake there for the Pirates. You get a throw-in, it hits the ground, it bounces up, hits the girl in the chest, and goes out of bounds, giving the ball straight back to Madison Central.
It happens, though, because when it hits your chest, you really cannot, move your arms to help you, because if it hits you from below your shoulder, it's a handball.
Right. But it's like you mentioned, though, and a shot on goal goes high and hits the crossbar of the goal post and goes across the end, so it'll be a goal kick. But it's kind of like you mentioned earlier on the kick and crossing at the center and getting your hips turned. It's the same thing. When you take the ball off the body, still, if you can get your body turned, you can deflect it the right direction.
You can.
And that one hit her deflected straight out of bounds.
It just takes practice.
Yeah. Okay. And again, I've not played soccer. I did get out with my sister's 3 boys and play in the backyard with them. Her middle son was actually a pretty good soccer player. Was a select player up in the Delta and went to some camp when he was like 13, 14 out to Texas and was MVP of the camp at this big camp out there. But he got burnt out and was one of those when you play in soccer as a select, you play in year-round, and it cut into his hunting season too much. And he decided to give up soccer.
Are in the South. It cuts into hunting season.
It did. He played football, but he even quit playing baseball because he wanted to spend his time when he wasn't on the football field, he was hunting or helping farm.
Well, that can happen. Soccer players, you're running all the time. You're running up and down the field. Mm-hmm. Your body sometimes just starts rejecting it.
But he got to the point he just lost the desire to compete in soccer and to play that much. He said, hey, life's more about playing soccer every day.
That has happened.
Yep.
On my college team, though, there was a girl who graduated from Pearl in 2000 who came back to get her degree, and she played soccer with us, and she's 31 years old.
Wow.
She still has love for the game, and she plays soccer every day. Her daughter plays soccer. She'll go watch soccer. She's here tonight helping my Hines coach recruit. So some people lose the love for it, and some people don't.
And that is true with most anything in life. You have to, and for something like that, though. And I was glad to see my sister. She wouldn't let him quit in the middle of a season. Said, you finished the season. But once the season was over, she told him, if you don't want to play, then just don't go back out. And he made that choice. But I was proud of him for recognizing that, because she was running all over the Southeast taking him playing soccer in these tournaments. There's a breakaway by Madison Central, and the goalie's going to come out to meet her, and it's going to go by her and into the goal. That's not necessarily a bad move, I don't think, by the goalie, is it, to come out and try to meet it?
That is the best thing to do, because if you can get there in time and get your body in front of that ball, you can deflect it. But it's also a dangerous move, because you run the risk of getting hit,
right,
like kicked in the face or something, or you run the risk of not falling fast enough and they get a goal.
But even at that, though, you've got a better chance probably of stopping the ball, charging it like she did, as opposed to sitting back in the goal and waiting and letting the offensive player make her move and go where she wants to go with it.
That's right.
Because and just from geometry, you shorten the angles, gives you a better option on the ball.
Never thought about it that way. I just thought put your body in front of the ball.
Geometry was good in math. It just closes the angle, makes it an easier shot, easier deflection.
And I thought I'd never need geometry.
See there? You didn't know geometry played into soccer, did you? And there's another attempt by Madison Central. Will go across the end line. It'll be a goal kick.
It looks like it's going to be Alexis Bullman for the Lady Pirates taking that goal kick. I believe she's a sophomore. She was starting last year with me as an outside back.
And she'll get the ball out.
That's something that you really do not want to do, what she just did.
What was that?
You never want to send it back in front of your goal.
Okay.
Because you run the risk that if you do not get it out of the box, the other team has a chance of getting possession and having a great attack on you.
So you'd rather take it to one side or the other as opposed to out across the middle.
So whatever side you're on, that's the safest bet for you.
Madison Central now has it back on their offensive end. She just split 2 defenders. Goes right by another one now the Pearl will deflect it and try to clear it. The defender from Madison Central gets it, sticks it right back in the offensive end.
And that was a good play by Madison Central, an overlap play so that nobody knows who's going to have the ball.
And a good job there by Holly Cobb. She comes out and deflects the ball, but it goes right into Madison Central. But on her attempt, goes high and up in the air and may have even gone
over the fence into the football practice field.
That's what it looked like. Danielle pointing out the Hines Community College coaches here. Is she looking possibly for recruits?
She's looking at the 2 seniors from Pearl, Jackie Grossi and Courtney Nolan, and she's looking at 3 girls from Madison Central who aren't really sure if they want to play collegiate soccer because they're all good enough to go play 4-year.
Madison Central misses a shot on goal.
Usually junior college is for you to see if you still want to continue playing because once you get to a 4-year college, it's not a sport anymore. It's like a job because you never have break time. You go to class, you go to practice, you go to sleep. Class, practice, sleep, and that's all it is.
Now, how much scholarship is there at the 4-year colleges for soccer?
I'm not sure about the 4-year colleges. Junior colleges usually pay half tuition.
Okay.
Which is really good.
Shot on goal by Madison Central, wide right. Another goal kick for the Pirates. But for somebody good enough that wants to pursue soccer, there are some opportunities to get an education at least partially paid for.
Yes, that is
playing a game, which is really what it's about.
But just like in high school, it's hard to keep up with your schoolwork during because your focus is on soccer, and that's all that you really want to do. Pearl had that goal kick, and Madison Central possessed it. And now Pearl's just trying to get it out.
So at this point on defense, you're just literally trying to get the ball away from the offensive player and get it back somewhere near midfield.
The best thing for Pearl to do right now is get it from their defensive third to Madison's defensive third. That's how the soccer field is broken up into thirds. Sorry, I did not tell you that.
No, that's good. That's good. So you're looking at basically 30 to the 30. That's a little bit more than a third. That's about a third because it's a 120-yard field. So that'd be 40 yards, and 40 yards. So get it back from the 30 in to the 30 in on the other side.
That's right.
Madison Central has it shot straight to Holly Cobb. Does a good job with that one. And now she will clear the ball. And Madison Central defenders back. Stop the ball, try to send it back toward their third, and it is now in their third.
It is, and it's in Madison Central's attacking third. Pearl's defending third. It's very confusing.
It can be.
It really can be.
I guess if you've been doing it since you were 5 years old, it's a little easier.
It's just like second nature to you.
I guess kind of like baseball would be to me, right?
That's right.
That time the Pearl defender just kicked the ball out of bounds to give Madison Central the throw in. But again, that's better to give them that than a wide open attack on goal. At least now you get a chance to get the defense set. Madison Central making a substitute.
And usually a girl's or guy's throw is not going to be as far as their kick.
Okay.
Unless you're like superhuman, have superhuman strength.
Kick on goal, just wide right. Of course, again, the throw-in generally, they're literally, unlike a goal kick or something where, you're trying to kick it somewhere in the area of your players, but it's pretty much just kick it hard and then see where it goes to some degree. But a throw-in, literally, you're throwing it to somebody or to some spot. Is that correct?
That's right. And see, that's a habit that college coaches are trying to break because in high school soccer, first instinct's to kick it. College soccer, they want you to play it, settle it down, look, know where you're going, know where the ball's coming from.
Madison Central getting it back to their attacking third. How about that? I remembered that. And there's a shot deflected by a Pearl Pirate, but right to Holly Cobb as she was awaiting it. How much difference is the level of play for what we see in 5A, 6A high school in Mississippi versus the junior college level where you are now? Pearl has a breakaway. Hang on just a second. Let's see if we can get us a goal. She's going to take it to the right, kick it back across, and the Madison Central goalie was there. I don't think it would have gone in anyway. It looked like it's going to hit the sidebar.
Well, if she would have cut it to the center and shot it just a second earlier, she actually might have had it if she shot it to the far corner.
That's hard to do, though, to run one direction and kick it all the way back the other direction.
It really is because you have to turn your hips, and usually you jump in the air looking like you're leaping or something.
And plus, she couldn't slow down because she had a Madison Central defender literally right on her back. So,
or that could have been a good time to make a move, like cut it back behind you and
Do the little, what'd you call that?
It's a little step over.
Yeah,
and
step over.
Make them think you're going one way, get it around them.
Shot across the center. Madison Central with a bad kick, kicked it back out away from the goal. They come back, and she whiffed that one, and it's cleared out by a Pearl defender. And now Pearl has a chance to attack on the offensive end. Madison Central defender is back. That's number 12, Meg Watson, gets back. But Pearl's coming back, still trying to get it into the offensive end. For Pearl, that was number 14, Sammy Abrams. Out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Pirates.
But you asked about the difference in the playing level. Well, in college soccer, it goes faster. Where you see high school players dribbling a lot, college players, they usually spread the field out. They'll take 2 touches maximum, maybe 3, and they pass it, and it's a faster game.
So has that been a big adjustment for you in your freshman year now?
It actually kind of has been, because in my instinct, it's just kick it. But my coach, she's a very good coach. She has broken me out of that, and I thank her for that.
Madison Central, we've got a whistle, and that's going to be gets a free kick, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Pearl defender was there, cleared it back to midfield.
The Madison Central player was trying to quickly get the ball back in play, but she should have gotten it over the Pearl's defender, and instead she kicks it right to her.
Almost like she didn't give it quite enough time to get set and ready.
Obviously not. It's always good to let your player know that you're kicking it to them.
26 minutes to go. Madison Central leads Pearl 5-0. Again, Madison Central has not been scored on this year as they kick a ball across the front. Header is going to miss. Chased down by a Madison Central player. Holly Cobb had come out to the girl who attempted the header. Didn't get to the ball. Now there's a shot on goal, and goes between Holly and the end post into the goal for their 6th goal of the afternoon.
And that's a very difficult goal to stop, because you don't know if they're going to cross it in front of the goal for someone else or if they're going to take the shot.
You commit one way and it goes the other. Just not much you can do sometimes.
Kind of like a dot shot.
So 6-0 now. Madison Central leads. And what I was saying, at this point in the game for Pearl, with Madison Central not being scored on this season, you just try to look for a victory. Say, we can get a goal. We can be the only team that scored on them so far.
That's right.
Realistically, do you look now still having a chance to win the game?
Realistically, I do not. I'm going to be completely honest.
Right.
But, I mean, we were down last year 3-0 to Madison Central and came back and lost 3-2.
So there's still things can happen. You still got a lot of time to go, still 25 minutes.
They could still score a goal. Like, they could get a foul in the box and have a free kick and have 1 goal on them.
And at this point, though, that's what you look for, some kind of small victory, some kind of small something that you can get a positive takeaway. Says, hey, we can get a goal. We can say we scored against Madison Central, and nobody else has done that into their 5th game now.
And usually whenever you get a goal, your confidence goes up. So you're like, okay, we can do this again, and you start playing a little bit better. Although that's also the time where the opposing team can turn the ball right back on you because you're still celebrating and they're mad. So
now Pearl gets the ball into their end, but Madison Central will chase it down, get it to their goalkeeper, and she'll clear the ball back out. Boys soccer coming up following this one. Glad you're here joining us. This is our first of 3 soccer broadcasts this year on Pirate Media Network. We'll carry the Clinton game. What I said that was on the 27th of November. Ball hits the goal post. Still in Madison Central. Another shot. That one hits the post as well. It'll be a goal kick for the Pirates. And then on December the 8th, I think is what I said the other one was, will be a game against Northwest Rankin.
I think that's what she told me.
Clinton on the 27th. And then it's Saturday morning, the 8th of December, Northwest Rankin. Both those games will be here at Ray Rogers Stadium. If you're watching this game on the internet, television, listening on the radio, anyone, we'd love to get some feedback from you. You can go to our Facebook page, Pirate Media Network. Like us on Facebook. Love to have you post comments. Let us know what you think about soccer broadcast. I might not all ask that. They might have said get away with me and get rid of me and just let you do it, since you know more about soccer.
And if you do say that, you can add me as a friend on Facebook.
But love to get your feedback as we try to do more and more sports here at Pearl High School. Of course, we've done football now. This is our 4th season, completed our 4th season doing football. Also doing basketball, baseball. We've done we've done fast pitch softball. And now adding soccer.
Soon you're going to be doing golf and volleyball.
Well, now we have discussed, Frank has told me he's figured out a way for me to do cross country. I told him he's going to have to get me a 4-wheeler if I'm going to do cross country.
I'll drive you around and you can just.
Yeah, I don't think I'll sit on the back with you driving me around.
I'm a very good driver. I've been driving 4-wheelers since I was 3 years old.
That scares me.
According to my dad.
But we will try to at least give some sort of coverage for more sports as we can going through here on the Pirate Media Network. That's what we're about, is trying to cover the athletes here at Pearl High School as best we can. Of course, the digital media class at Pearl has been instrumental in that, especially in our football broadcasts is where they really work the hardest. We're not using them now for soccer or for basketball. We will get them back involved for baseball.
And 2 of your people that are in that class are on the boys soccer team.
That's
Am
right.
I right? John Adams and Ryan Worsham.
John
Adamas.
And Ryan Worsham.
Well, so many people know him as John Adams, so I just call him that.
Yeah, I called him that, and he got mad at me.
I just call him my little Hispanic.
John's a neat kid, though.
He's in my phone as that, too.
He's what now?
He's in my phone as that, my little Hispanic.
I love it.
John is a sweetheart, though, yep.
Now Pearl gets the ball. Madison Central defender takes it away from her. But we do have some ideas on things we might do, not live, but in taping and replaying some stuff with track at some point as we go forward. It's a work in progress. Some of the things may not happen this season or this school year, but as we go years into the future and keep trying to expand what we do with the Pirate Media Network, we'll try to get more and more. But we'd love to get you to like us on Facebook, Pirate Media Network. It's easy to search. Like our page, and then love to hear your comments. Post your comments.
Looks like Madison Central shot on goal, and it goes over. I could see them setting that one up. They were passing it all in front of the goal, and wonder if anybody from Pearl was going to step to them and try to get it from them.
20 minutes remaining in the game. 6-0. Madison Central leading Pearl. I'm DP. She's Danielle Poe. I guess that's DP as well.
I'm little DP.
That's
You're
right.
big DP.
There you go.
That's very true. DP and DP.
Another broadcast we're going to have coming up before too long. It won't deal with athletics, but it will deal with Pearl, and that's the Christmas parade coming up on Saturday, December the 1st. We'll carry the parade live. That's an interesting move by the Pearl player. She sat down on the ball trying to get it away.
That is actually a legal play. You're not supposed to play it on the ground.
That's why the official on the far side blew his whistle and pointed at her.
Yeah, he saw that one.
Now Madison gets a direct kick. Is that what you call this? Free kick?
Free kick.
Free kick.
I'm still getting confused on indirect and direct kicks.
Now, of course, a direct kick, you can kick it straight to the goal without having to touch anybody.
Right.
An indirect kick, another player has to touch it before it goes into the goal.
Right.
And that must have been a direct. She kicked it all the way to the goal. It was high and long, so no good. It'll be a goal kick for the Pirates. But that much I do know a difference in a direct and an indirect. Now, when you get them, what causes them, I don't know. I know the direct kick, the worst foul is the direct. An indirect, of course, I've seen girls on an indirect or guys you can come up and just tap it. Like it is one person.
I think that's
touch.
usually a handball.
Okay.
I'm not really sure, though. I still get confused on that because I don't.
No.
Other way. Oh. It got away from you
He was
again.
showing his fist that he had the moth, and then I saw the moth flying away.
And it just hit me in the head.
Now the moth is out the window. Of course, the window's open. He could easily fly back in. Of course, Frank, I will give him Frank Hutton, our executive producer, captured his nemesis, tossed him out the window.
He's going to come back for you.
But anyway, on Saturday morning, December the 1st, the Pearl Christmas Parade will take place. Begins at Trustmark Bank on Highway 80 there in Bright Shopping Center. Proceed down to Childry Road Extended there on Highway 80. Take a left and go into Trustmark Park. And we will be broadcasting the parade live that morning.
I'm glad he told me when that was because I did not know. And where that was. They've changed it again?
Same place, same route it was last year from what I understand.
Oh, that's a new route because...
Oh, is it?
Well, I'm not really sure. I was supposed to be in the parade last year with the band, but I had a soccer tournament, so
but anyway,
kind of takes precedence.
We'll go down Highway 80 to Childry Road Extended, which is just before you get to Sutherland's, and it'll turn left on that into Trustmark Park.
That's a great place to end it, actually.
And that's where it'll end, and that's where the big festival takes place, Jingle Bell Market, that begins at 9 o'clock and runs till 4 o'clock there at the parking lot at Trustmark Park. A lot of food, games, activities, arts and crafts. It'll be a lot of fun that day. Make sure and come out if you can. For those of you who can't come, or maybe if you have relatives living out of state, watch it on the internet. We'll be broadcasting live.
Well, it's a Pearl throw-in, and Allison Eccles, who had the ball, kicked it off of a Madison Central player to ensure that Pearl would get the ball. And that's usually a very good play.
Which is just like the same concept as a basketball player throwing it off another player to go out of bounds to try to get the ball back.
That's right. See, I know what you're talking about in that because I played basketball too.
How about that?
Quit after
I didn't
junior
know
high.
you were a multi-sport athlete.
Soccer, basketball, softball, and band. Band is an ultimate sport. 2 state championships. Got 2 state rings.
But they never got a back-to-back until this year.
That's right. And
They got it in 7, 9, and 11. They always did it odd number of years. Never could get a back-to-back till this year when they got it in 12. For the first time, they got back-to-back state championships.
And hopefully next year, even though rumor has it Jeff Cannon's going to be retiring, hopefully next year, under the direction of Matt Rowan, they will have 3. Make it a 3-peat.
Madison Central clears it back to midfield. Pearl tries to turn it back the other direction. Still looking for that first goal. We get almost 15 minutes remaining. Crossing into the middle of the field. Now we've got an opportunity with the ball set. And it's going to be retained by the Madison Central goalkeeper.
Sammy Abrams was booking it after that keeper, though. She was going to get that ball or the keeper.
And, of course, the goalkeeper is kind of a protected person. You can't run into them at all. Is that correct?
They can't. You cannot run into them, but they can run into you. And if they have if they have their hands on the ball, you cannot legally kick it out of their hands.
Ball goes across the end line by Madison Central. It'll be a goal kick for the Pirates.
And a substitution for the Pirates, too.
Did you see who went in? Yeah, number 9 or 5.
That is Smithhart.
Morgan Smithhart, 9th grader.
Went in for Jackie Grossi, and that it looks like Bailey LaFontaine is going in for Allison Eccles.
Okay. Now I'm assuming Morgan is Mr. Smithhart's daughter.
That is his youngest daughter, and his son, his very youngest one,
Jake,
is on the boys' junior high team.
He's also a really good football player.
And baseball.
He played quarterback on the 7th grade football team that we broadcast this year and did a really good job. And is Bailey LaFontaine, I guess, is Kim LaFontaine's daughter?
Yes, it is. And her son is one of the drum majors for the Pearl Pirate Band.
Drew?
Yes, sir.
I met Drew. Drew is part of Leadership Rankin, Youth Leadership Rankin, and I'm a trustee for Leadership Rankin, so I've been able to help with them, and I was with them this past week when we went to youth court, Rankin County Youth Court, youth detention over in Pelahatchie, met with Judge Broom and toured the jail, the facility, youth court facility, or youth detention facility. They don't call it the jail, it's a youth detention facility. Then we left there and went to MEMA, got a tour there, and went to the State Fire Academy, got a tour there, and then to the 172nd Air Wing.
Well, y'all just had a big day.
Had a big day. Now Madison Central with a missed attempt on goal. Be a goal kick for the Pirates. But anyway, Drew is part of that group.
And Drew actually used to play soccer. He quit right before he got to high school before they had a junior high soccer team. And his younger brother, I believe, is getting into soccer. So
Okay.
I think his younger brother's name is Jacob.
Now Pearl trying to clear it out, but Madison Central is not cooperating. Now they do finally get it going in the right direction.
And that's Kelly Green to Allison Dillon, but Allison doesn't get there fast enough.
Now an opportunity for Pearl.
And that's Sammy Abrams.
Sammy's got an opportunity, and she kicks it
Oh.
wide right. Had another chance. You talk about if she could have got it farther to the left. The goalkeeper was set up near the post on this side. If she could have crossed it more to the left, she also had a girl coming from the other side. She could have slowed down, waited just a bit. She might have had a girl to pass it to. It's going to be close.
The bad thing about being a soccer player is you usually have a dominant foot. You're either dominantly left-footed or dominantly right-footed, and if you kick it with the foot that you're not dominant with, it can go anywhere,
Yep.
and you just – or there are some select few players that can kick it with either foot and have perfect control over it.
And that's the really special players that can do that. Is that right? Like you?
Well, I can.
I set you up for that,
I'm
too.
more comfortable with my left foot, but I can kick it with my right.
Now, are you left-handed?
I'm right-handed,
Okay,
though.
but you're left-footed. Interesting.
I know.
Pearl with another opportunity, but once again, the goalkeeper comes up and gets the ball.
I'm just more special than Kristen. And she's listening
And
to
she's
this right
listening,
now.
so I'm sure you're fixing to get a text.
Can I tell her I love her?
Sure, you just did.
That's right.
Once again, Pearl trying to get an offensive attack, and Madison Central thwarting it. Get it out to midfield. Pearl will try to turn it back in. Just wants to get, at this point, just get a goal. Get something positive happening to take away from this game. Again, you're playing one of the top teams in the state, ranked number 2 in the early season poll, or ranking from the Clarion Ledger.
It's better
And there's a
to
kick out of bounds and a hard contact down there.
lose to a team. Well, it's better to beat a team for
Sure,
one.
right.
But if you are losing to them, it's better to at least have 1 or 2 points on the board to say, yes, they did beat us, but we did have we had chances too.
Right. And now Madison Central with a crossing opportunity missed by Pearl Pirate. Madison will chase it down.
Now the Pirates are trying to clear it out to see if they can get it up to their attacking third, see if they can actually get a goal in the back of the net. And Sammy sends it over to Madison Morgan
Now it's a
Smithhart.
foot race, and Madison Central outruns her to the ball and kicks it out of bounds. Pearl gets to throw in, but as we talked a while ago, that's all the Madison Central girl at that point was trying to do.
And that's all that she could do.
Get it out of bounds, stop the play, give her defense a chance to get down and get set.
Because if she kicks it over the end line, that gives Pearl the perfect opportunity to score with a corner kick.
Pearl gets the throw in. Now they're still trying to get it on the attack. We've got a whistle. And I think we've got a foul against the Madison Central girl. I think Pearl's going to get a kick.
It looks like Courtney Nolan from the Pearl team is hurt a little. That actually could be bad because she's a senior. She's a captain. She's one of their best players. So that could actually prove to be dangerous.
Looks like she is fishing to attempt the direct kick or the free kick.
Oh, that's Kelly Green attempting that.
Oh, is it? Number 23. Is that 23?
That is 23,
Okay.
Kelly Green, whose sister plays with me at Hines.
And must have been an indirect because she kicked it over to another Pearl player, tried to head it in, and it missed the target.
Well,
But is it
sometimes
a
from
shot
that
on goal,
angle, it's better to try to cross it
Okay.
than to shoot it because you cannot really pick where it can go. Whereas if you cross it, you have all these people running towards it and who
Makes
can
it
get in the
tougher
back
for
of
the
the net.
keeper.
That's right.
Inside 10 minutes now, 9:04 to go in the girls' game. We'll step away for a moment. I think Frank may have some more interview to play as we await the boys' game following this one.
Well, it looks like the Pearl players keep setting themselves up to have a goal, but they can never finish it or connect the last pass to complete it.
I haven't counted our shots on goal, but what are we up to? Probably 6 maybe? 5 or 6?
Maybe this half, 6.
Okay.
The first half, I think they had about 4, so
Okay.
I guess we're about 10.
So about close to 10 maybe shots on goal. And that ball went straight to the head of a Pearl player. She did a good job of deflecting it.
And she's probably in a little bit of pain.
Madison Central defender jumps in front, deflects the ball. Now Pearl trying to get it back and missed on that pass. Good job of crossing towards Morgan Smithart. Morgan just couldn't get a foot on it to stop it before it went out of bounds.
And soccer is one of those games where you have to be on your toes to be able to get that ball because you never know where it's going to be played.
And you said this is Alexis Bullman on his near side?
This is Allison Dillon on this near side.
Allison Dillon, number 30. Okay. I couldn't tell 20 or 30.
Alexis Bullman is the center back there.
Okay.
With the bright green cleats. You can always tell a player by their cleats.
So they don't all wear the same ones?
No, they do not.
Y'all probably do now, though, in college, don't
Actually, we don't.
They don't supply you with yours?
No, because our coach would like us to already have our cleats broken in.
Okay.
And, so that we don't have to have blisters coming into the season.
Yeah, blisters wouldn't be good.
Not really. They actually kind of hurt. I don't know if you knew that.
And I've never experienced that.
Well, learn something new every day.
7 minutes remaining. Pearl still trying to get their first goal and trying to get the first goal scored against the Lady Jaguars this season, as they've shut out everybody they've played. The boys will have a tough match as well because Madison Central boys are 3-1, I believe.
And they're ranked number 1.
They're 3-0-1. Their only goal was a tie. They had a 1-1 tie. Is the only goal they've given up this season.
And that's another corner kick for Madison Central. Defender A.K. Pittman kicks it out. She's probably hoping it was going off Madison Central player.
The Sacred Heart out of Hattiesburg tied Madison Central 1-1. Other than that, they've won 4-0, 3-0, 3-0 in their 3 other games for the boys.
And that could be why they're ranked number 1.
Now corner kick for Madison Central. She's going to kick it out, and they'll set a play. Now she crosses it to the middle, other side.
The Madison Central player played it back to one of her defenders who decided to come up the field so that Pearl does not see her coming up there, does not think, she's not really going to pass it back. We don't need to cover her, but then she actually does.
And now, for what it appeared to me, though, then it was a missed play when she kicked it back across, as the girl either kicked to the wrong spot or the girl didn't make the play on it from there.
I think she probably kicked it to the wrong spot.
They looked like they had a play set up going to her and just misplayed it. Madison Central gets it back in the attack area, though, crosses to the middle of the field on a good kick. Pearl does a good job of clearing it from the middle of the field, though. Didn't they?
Yes, they did.
See there? The Madison Central defenders back, though, and take it back the other direction.
We had a little photo shoot, apparently.
Our executive producer likes to do things like that. Ball's cleared down to the Pearl end. Race for the ball. Madison Central gets it back out. I noticed most of his pictures are from our back. Is he trying to tell us something that's maybe our good side? He hasn't gone out in the stands taking one back towards us to get our face.
That could be your good side. My good side's my front.
Okay. The ball's kicked out of bounds.
Kim LaFontaine said y'all were doing an excellent job.
And if Kim LaFontaine said we're doing an excellent job, we must be, because she
can hear you down there.
I can see her down there.
Ah. Hey, she was my English teacher before she went to work for the school board.
And now people are turning back up here, and we're getting to wave at them.
It's going to be a free kick for the Lady Pirates, it looks like.
And, of course, this is one of those, again, for Madison Central, really no threat. Now all we're trying to do is get it out of this end.
Yeah, Pearl wants to get it up to their forwards and just see what they can work with, but apparently their defender could not get it up there.
That was not a good kick. I can tell that. That one went into the stands. They were kicking that one to Kim LaFontaine. Actually, I think they may be watching us. I see iPhone or smartphone of some sort. They may
You
be
see that
watching.
too?
I think they're watching the game on their smartphone device, which you can do that. Watch them on your smartphone, whether it's an iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. iPads, Android, any type of tablets.
If you got to run out to go get something from the store, you can listen on the radio.
Listen on the radio while you run and pick up that gallon of milk, loaf of bread.
Bringing us some hot chocolate.
Somebody could, if they wanted to run out and bring us a cup of hot chocolate,
I
they
wouldn't
could listen on
object.
the radio while they brought it.
Exactly.
And we've got somebody we could send down to the car to pick it up.
We do.
2:45 remaining. Madison Central gets a free kick. The Pearl defender deflects it, but Madison Central is going to maintain it. Try to work it back to the middle, and it's cleared out. That's a good job of a clear out there by the Pearl Pirates.
Morgan Smithhart's going to try to get back there and get it before the Madison Central, but she was not lucky enough to, and now they just got to wait and see what the keeper's going to do with it. And she passes it to one of her outside mids, who loses it to Bailey LaFontaine, who gives it over to Kelly Green.
Now a kick in, and the goalkeeper's going to come out and grab it, and we're nearing the 2 minutes on the clock. And if I understand correctly, at 2 minutes, they'll stop the clock here, and we won't know exactly when it's going to end. The referee keeps time on the field, and at some point in the next 2 to 3 minutes, this game will be over.
Well, they were supposed to stop the clock. They don't look like they're going to.
Since I said it, they left it running.
In high school soccer, they are supposed to stop the clock because the referee tells you when the game is over, not the buzzer.
Because if there were any stoppage play, stoppage time, anything like that, or additional time he needed to add, that they would do that. I remember that. I did the PA for Mississippi Bria.
And they stopped the clock finally, so.
For Mississippi Bria, I did PA for them for a couple of seasons. So gotten a little bit familiar with some of the clock stuff. PA is different from play-by-play.
Okay, I was about to say. I thought
all I had to do for doing PA was introduce the starters and read the scripts of the commercial advertisers they had for their games during the play, which I was real unused to doing that as a public address announcer, of actually talking during the play. But they said, no, go right ahead. As long as they're in like the mid-thirds, don't worry about it. Just keep on talking. Now when I supposed to make sure I didn't talk when they were having an attack on goal.
Because nobody's going to listen to you then. They're going to see if it goes in or if it gets deflected.
I told some of my friends, I was going to say fans, but I said I wouldn't use that word. I told some of my friends that if we scored, I would use the World Cup call for a score.
The goal?
Yeah.
The long goal?
Yeah.
Well,
I believe that is the game. That is. Pearl will lose to Madison Central 6-0. Madison Central improves to 5-0. Pearl will fall to 2-2. Is that what they said? We're 2-1.
2-2.
And
I believe.
Again, that will be the final for this game as Madison Central defeats Pearl. We're going to step away for a little bit. We'll be back in a few moments. We'll have boys soccer coming up as the Pirates will be playing the Jaguars of Madison Central. Back in a moment. You're watching Pearl Pirate Athletics on the Pirate Media Network.
It was once called East Jackson, but the city of Pearl's been coming into its own ever since then. The folks at the Pearl Chamber of Commerce are proud of their city and want to give you just a few facts to consider. For instance, its commitment to excellence in education with Pearl's public schools and the Rankin branch of Hines Community College. It's a community whose people are grounded in faith and family. Consider Pearl's political contributions. Ray Rogers and Dean Kirby in the state legislature, and U.S. Congressman Greg Harper's district headquarters in his hometown of Pearl. It's become a handsome east entrance to the metro area on I-20 with shopping places like Bass Pro and the new Sam's Club, and Trustmark Park, home of the Mississippi Braves. The State Fire Academy is in Pearl, and so is the state headquarters of MEMA and other government agencies. The newly elected slate of city officials is excited about Pearl and making it an even better place. It's come a long way from being just a quaint little neighborhood east of Jackson. The city of Pearl, a city creating its own future.
Hometown Spotlight is sponsored by the Pearl Chamber of Commerce.
Harvey's Fish Hut is located on the corner of Airport Road and Old Whitfield Road in Pearl, Mississippi. Harvey's prides itself on having the best fried catfish in the metro area, as well as tasty pan trout. Harvey's Fish Hut only serves quality Mississippi farm-raised catfish. Dine-in or carry-out, Harvey's Fish Hut is always served hot and fresh, open Monday through Saturday for both lunch and dinner. So stop by and see Willie Harvey at Harvey's Fish Hut on the corner of Airport Road and Old Whitfield Road, or call to place your order at 601-939-6262. 601-939-6262.
and 2 down.
Sometimes coming home can be a battle in itself. Our wounded warriors need everyone's support to meet the challenges they face every day. The USO provides every American a way to support them and their families.
What? It's good to be back.
Join us. Visit USO.org to learn how you can make a difference in the lives of our wounded warriors. The USO, until everyone comes home.
Serving Mississippi since 1967, Mississippi Bonding Company is prepared to help in your time of need. Our agents are the quickest, most efficient, and most educated bail bonds agents in the area. We use state-of-the-art computer equipment and services to process all applications, credit cards, and deliver the necessary documents to get your friends and family released as quickly as possible. All jails, all courts, statewide and nationwide service, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. In trouble? Call Mississippi Bonding Company right now and let our professional agents help.
It's easy to have concerns about your cooling and heating system in the middle of summer, especially when you live in the Deep South. My friends at Hermetic Rush Services recommend you let them take away these worries when you call Hermetic Rush Services at 601-932-7874 for all your residential and commercial cooling and heating needs. You'll feel smarter from the shoulders up and a whole lot more comfortable head to toe. Hermetic Rush Services, where Rush is our middle name. Call them today, 601-932-7874.
Hi, I'm Darryl Palmer, play-by-play broadcaster for Pearl Pirate Athletics, and I've got the privilege and the honor to be sitting here today with the voice of the Pearl Pirates, Ray Rogers. Ray, thanks for being here and welcome.
Well, thank you, DP, for inviting me to come on the show with you. And I just want to tell you on behalf of the people of Pearl that I can say that we really appreciate the contribution that you're making to Pearl Pirate football. Everyone enjoys listening to you on Friday night.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's a lot of fun. I love doing it, and it's amazing how many people I talk to out in the community when I tell them I'm broadcasting for Pearl Pirates. They say, isn't Ray Rogers doing that?
Yeah.
I said, now, don't worry, I'm not replacing Ray Rogers. Ray has still got his seat and will have for as long as he's there.
Well, I think they confuse me as being the public address announcer,
right,
and you being the radio man,
right?
You know, and of course I've been doing the public address announcing now. This is my 48th year, and
so you're getting up there close to Jack Crystal now.
Well, yeah, I think Jack Crystal retired at about 56 years,
something like that.
I don't know whether I can make it that long or not.
We're rooting for you to make it that long.
Well, thank you,
Ray. I do want to take some time here to talk a little bit about some history for Pearl Pirate football, because I know you've been around Pearl Pirate football literally since it began.
That's right.
The school started in 1948, didn't have a football team that year. The first football season was the 49-50 school year. Take me back a little bit to the beginning and kind of tell us how it got started and a little bit about that.
Well, I'd be glad to. This is something that's very dear to my heart and something that I'm very proud to have been a part of, and that was the beginning of Pearl High School and, of course, the beginning of Pearl Pirate football.
Right.
But back in about 46 or 47, a bond issue was passed to build a high school in Pearl. We only went through the 9th grade.
Okay.
And students that finished the 9th grade was bused over to Jackson and went to Madison Central High. And whenever the bond issue was passed and they started building the school, it was completed for us to move in 1948. Now, like you said, in the 1948-49 school year, we didn't have a football team. We did have a basketball and a baseball team.
Okay.
But it took a year for all of us guys who didn't know a thing in the world about football to be trained how to even lace up the shoulder pads,
right,
and put on all the equipment and stuff like that, you know, much less the blocking and tackling techniques and things like that. We had a young man that was hired to come in here. He's a graduate, almost as young as some of us students were. He was a graduate of Murray State, Kentucky.
Okay.
Name was James Cooper, and he was our first football coach. And in the first football season, which is a 49-50 school year, he led us to a 3-6-1 record,
Okay.
which
You
was
won
pretty
3,
good.
lost 6, and
We
tied
won
one.
3,
Tied.
lost 6, and tied 1. That big tie was the last game of the year on Thanksgiving Day, 0-0 with the Brandon Bulldogs.
Brandon Bulldogs.
And that's where that rivalry started.
Right.
Brandon had been playing football for many years before us. And we went over to Brandon that day and played them to a 0-0 tie. Thought we'd won the Super Bowl. We really thought we'd done something.
You were there.
I was there. That's
Now,
exactly
one
right.
thing I want to ask you.
But I captained and quarterbacked the first team.
That's pretty impressive. Now, I do want to mention, we talked about the Brandon and the rivalry that's there.
Yeah.
After, I've been the years since 1949, and I want to go back to a thought with that, but now we have the leather helmet, the trophy that's there. Tell me a little bit about that. And you didn't actually wear a leather helmet, but you did tell me that the helmet y'all wore didn't have face masks.
That's right. No, we wasn't that far back. Now, the helmets that we wore wasn't much better than the leather helmet.
Okay.
It was kind of between a leather plastic.
Okay.
Hard plastic. But nothing like they have today, of course.
Oh, they're high tech now.
Right. But no, we didn't have face guards.
Okay.
And it wasn't very long into a ball game, especially the linemen, that probably after about the third or fourth play, all of your linemen had busted noses and busted lips and everything else. And if you was able to play a full ball game, whether you was a lineman or a back, without getting a busted nose or a busted lip, then you was a Superman.
I bet you were.
Yes.
Now, talk a little bit about that Brandon-Pearl rivalry, because I think you've told me before that y'all played that year. It was 0-0, and it may have been a couple more years, but then y'all had to stop playing for a few years.
We did. We played, I think it was 4 years.
Okay.
And it just became such a rivalry, not with just the schools, between the schools, but between our fans.
Right.
You know, that the Mississippi Activities Association wanted us to cool it for a couple of years. So they made us quit playing.
Wow.
And that really broke both of us' hearts.
I bet it did.
It really did. And it wasn't until after the first football season, but that we weren't able to play each other, that we started, working on the Activities Association to let us go back to playing each other.
How many years did they?
Two.
Just 2 years.
2 years, and then they let us go back. And of course, we started back just like
didn't miss a beat with the
didn't miss a
rivalry.
beat. No, sir, not a beat. And I tell everybody all the time, that's been one of the greatest rivalries probably in the state of Mississippi in high school football. Yeah. It surely is ranked in the top 15.
Oh, no doubt.
Because of the Y'alls versus Us
right.
books that came out ranked us in the top 15. But that's what it is. It's a rivalry between two neighboring schools in the same county. And I tell everybody, I say, over those 62 years, I've made as many friends in Brandon out of that rivalry
sure.
as anywhere in the state of Mississippi or in Rankin County. And I tell everybody we're not enemies.
Right.
We're just arch rivals.
Exactly.
Which makes for just a great tradition.
Well, one of the things I heard the two mayors say when they actually introduced this trophy, and heard Mayor Tim Coulter and Mayor Brad Rogers make the comment that for 51 weeks out of the year, we can be best friends.
That's right.
But when it comes to Pearl Brandon Week, then, hey, it's
no, that's it.
We're ready.
That's it. That's
right
it.
now, when did it first become Pearl Pirates? How did the pirate become the mascot for Pearl?
Well, it was Pearl Pirates from the very beginning
okay.
of the high school. During the time that the school was being built, the students that knew there was going to be coming to Pearl, the principal that had been hired, Mr. L.W. Bright,
okay.
was instrumental in calling all of the high school students, which now DP was less than 60.
Okay, in the whole high school?
In the whole high school,
right.
Less than 60 students. Calling them all together, or as many as they could get, and we met, and he gave us the opportunity to choose the colors and the mascot.
Okay.
And the colors and the mascot came recommended by a study committee of the senior group.
Okay.
And they came with the blue and gold and came with the pirate. And of course, it was voted on pretty much unanimously. The pirate was.
Okay.
And but it's a long story about that pirate now. We had a young man. Do we have time to go into this?
Absolutely. We got all the time.
We had a young man by the name of Floyd Scherer. Floyd was a great athlete, but at the age of 16 years old, he went off and joined the Merchant Marines, volunteered, and joined the Merchant Marines, and traveled the world for about a year and a half. And it was during that time that he got several tattoos put on his body.
Right.
And one of the tattoos was a large stand-up tattoo that went from his knee down to his ankle.
Okay.
And it was a pirate. And the ink was in blue and gold.
Really?
That's right. And he was, when they started the high school, he was an outstanding basketball player. And it was prior to the school year when they were practicing, getting ready for the basketball season of 1948, that a lot of the students and everything was able to see Floyd. He had a heck of a personality,
right,
and was a real good basketball player, just won everybody over, and they loved that pirate tattoo. And they said, we're going to be the Pearl Pirates. And that's how we became the Pearl Pirates.
Where it came from.
We voted on it, and it was unanimous.
Now, was it similar to the pirate logo that we see now? Was it?
Very similar.
Okay.
Very similar to the one that you see out here in the Commons area.
Okay.
In the high school.
Now, you mentioned 63 years that you've been around, 62 years, 63 years
Yeah.
been here at Pearl and affiliated with Pearl, a graduate, played football. You represent this area now, and the House of Representatives have now for 28 years.
That's right.
And as you mentioned, you've just been given another extension on your contract for another four more years in the House. Obviously, a lot of memories that you have, both as an athlete at Pearl, as an announcer for now 48 years. It's maybe a hard question for you, but what are some of the things that stand out, or some of your favorite memories here in Pearl?
Oh, DP, listen, God has blessed me with a wonderful life. I've been able to do a lot of things in my life that a lot of people have not been able to do. And, of course, I can't think of any one thing that has really touched me anymore, and is the day that the school board announced that they were changing the name of Pirate Stadium to the Ray Rogers Stadium. That was really a humbling experience. Of course, the 28 years that the people of Pearl have honored me by letting me represent them at the state capitol, that is a humbling experience also. I've lived a blessed life.
Right.
And God blessed me with a beautiful wife. A lot of people ask me, says, how did you get that beautiful girl?
Welcome back to Pearl High School Athletics here on the Pirate Media Network. We're getting ready for boys soccer action. It'll be the Pirates taking on the Jaguars of Madison Central. The Madison Central Jaguars ranked #1 in the state in high school soccer. Clinton, Gulfport, Ocean Springs, and Brandon round out the top 5, with Madison Central being on top. Madison Central is 3-0-1 this season. They beat Florence 4-0, which I think Florence was ranked, they're number 10 in the state. They tied Sacred Heart 1-1. They defeated Greene County 3-0 and Warren Central 3-0. Madison Central's only given up 1 goal, and that was on the 1-1 tie. So they've scored 11, had 1 scored against him. A very good ball club tonight. The Pearl Pirates coming in 2-1. Shutout wins against Terry and Meridian. The one loss came against Oak Grove 3-1. And according to Coach Rash, they played a majority of that game down 2 players due to red cards. So a tough thing that night. That they've outshot opponents 33-12, outscored opponents 7-3 with goals. Chase Williams 1, Ryan Worsham with 4, Morgan Cawthon with 1, and Johan Marin with 1. And, of course, Johan just barely came off of football. He played middle linebacker and punter for the football team and just snuck out to soccer when football got finished. So.
And 2 of those boys who scored are not with them tonight because they are with their select team at a what does it say? College showcase
North
tournament
Carolina.
with their select team, and that's Ryan Worsham and Morgan Caulfield. And he, as you said, Ryan has had 4 goals. So it's interesting to see how they're going to do tonight without him.
Definitely playing shorthanded. You don't want to be shorthanded when you go up against the best team in the state. So it's going to be a tough act tonight for the Pearl Pirates. But they're getting ready to go, coached by Chris Rash. And Chris, he's not a stranger to Pearl. He graduated from Pearl in 03. Went to Hines, played 2 years at Hines, was 2-time All-American. Went to Mississippi College and played for Mississippi Bria for a short time. Was assistant coach at JA for a couple of years. Was been assistant coach here under Coach Kivlin for 2 years. Now in his second year as head coach for the high school. So no stranger to Pearl High School soccer. Played soccer all his life, and we're glad to have him here.
And he actually coached me in rec.
Really?
He is the reason we won some of these state tournaments.
5 of them with your name on them, you said.
I think I'm counting. And the starting goalkeeper tonight is Bailey Hart, whose brother Tyler Poe plays at Hines on the football team. He was ranked number 1 in the nation for a kicker.
I did not know that.
He played goalkeeper at Pearl, and now he passed the torch on to his little brother, and hopefully he can follow in his footsteps.
Of course, Tyler was an excellent field goal kicker and kickoff specialist for Pearl football as well, and Bailey's followed in his footsteps this past season as the field goal extra point kicker for the Pearl Pirates. Will Roberts, who did kickoffs for the Pirates, is also a soccer player for Pearl.
And that's someone who's like, I grew up with Will. His sisters and my sisters are best friends, so that's
How
like my
about that?
little brother out there.
All right.
So I got family.
Kind of old home week now.
It really is.
Of course, you're our home.
I am home, and it's weird seeing everybody
And
because
I've heard your sister make this comment. Once a pirate.
always a pirate.
That's right.
You always bleed blue and gold.
So you may get off and go be a Hines Eagle. And you may go who knows where else, but at your heart, you're always a pirate. Pearl will control the ball to begin with. Pearl will be going from right to left as they get the ball down into Madison Central end, and the goalkeeper from Madison Central will take it. Thought about just rolling it over to his left. Pearl defender said he was going that way, so he decided to take it and punt it deep. Pearl will take the ball and send it back the offensive way. Now, there are a few of the Pearl players. I recognize Johan Merritt. He's easy for me to spot. Johan, extremely aggressive on the football field, so I'm anxious to see what he's like on the soccer field.
He's equally as aggressive. Although, for a little while, he did lose his speed, but he's slowly and gradually gained it back, and he's actually getting to the player that he used to be when we were kids. Because most of this team I played with whenever it was still co-ed soccer.
Okay.
So, but we have Daniel Scarborough, Will Roberts, Dalton Evans. They are all seniors in the defense. Logan Wilmoth, Rusty Parrish, they're juniors. And, I mean, Pearl has a very old team. Like, not like old, but most of their players who are starting are juniors and seniors, a few sophomores here and there. But, I mean, there's not a seventh grader stepping on the field like on the girls' team.
I mean, on the roster that I was given today this week by Coach Rash, he has nobody even lower than 9th.
Because, well, this is junior JV and varsity.
Okay.
They have their a junior high team who's just 7th and 8th graders, so that they learn
but
the
they have
game.
none of those on the high school team, though.
None of them.
Right.
They get in free to watch, but they are not allowed on the sideline. They have to sit in the bleachers. So they kind of make up the student section.
And I know that's one of the things Coach Rash was really excited about when I had a chance to interview him back during football season. We played it during one of our football games, that he had gotten the junior high program started and gotten a really good junior high program going to develop those 7th and 8th graders and try to get them ready. And I think Shane Fletcher coaches the junior high.
He does, and he actually used to play at Pearl, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think he went to school with my sister, Kristen.
Now Madison Central is getting an opportunity to attack the goal. Goal keeps there, blocks it, and it goes across the end line off of Madison Central. I think it'll be a goal kick for the Pirates. Great job on the defenders for Pearl to get back and prevent that scoring opportunity for Madison Central.
And it looks like the goalkeeper, Bailey Hart, is reminding his defenders that they have to mark their men and get back because they are the last line that he has of defenders
now,
before it gets to him.
Now, describe what you mean, mark their men. Just tell me what you mean by that.
Well, you see there's two players who are up there right beside our defenders. They have to be marked because those are the forwards.
Okay.
And then the midfielders mark the other players'
so by
midfielders.
mark, you mean like identify? Know who you
No,
got.
who's coming from which direction.
Okay.
It's like in football. You find that person, you're like, that's who I have.
Okay.
That's mine.
And Pearl will send it back to the goalkeeper. He will try to clear the ball out as Madison Central tries to keep it on their offensive third. Now it goes up towards midfield. And they will kick it back to their goalkeeper. Let him try to clear it back. Nobody with, well, Pearl had that, or Madison Central had that one shot on goal that was no good, as the Pearl defenders were able to get back and deflect it. Other than that, really no one with a real offensive attack yet. Now Madison Central is getting one set up, trying to cross it, but the Pearl defenders are there, deflected by a Madison Central player. Now they clear it out.
And if you haven't noticed, the boys that play faster than the girls. They never have more than 2 touches or to 3 touches on the ball, and it's just faster than the girls. That's why so many people actually like watching guys soccer more than girls. I know that a lot of fans have said that.
Well, it is a faster pace, and soccer is one of those games that doesn't move that fast. There's not a lot of scoring, and it's one of the things that kind of our mentality. We want scoring. We want the ball in the net. Basketball, we want the ball in the goal. Football, we want to see touchdowns. Baseball, we want to see home runs.
And it's like people do not realize that they do not understand that about soccer. Also, another thing they don't understand is why soccer is the only sport that can end in a tie.
Right.
And that, honestly, if you ask anybody, they're going to say because it's a communist sport. But I just think because they want everybody to feel like they're winners.
Right. I think it is across the end line ball for Pearl, so it'll be a corner kick for Madison Central. We're 5 minutes in, no score. If you're just joining us, it's Madison Central and Pearl in soccer action here at Ray Rogers Stadium. I'm DP. She's Danielle.
And I was saying earlier, the defenders are the last line of defense. In soccer, everybody has to play defense, from the forwards to the defenders. So it has to get from the forwards on our team to our defenders before it even gets close to our keeper. So nobody can really blame the keeper if it goes in. You can only blame yourself.
It looks like we have an issue with the net on the goal. And the players, Bailey's back there, and the referee trying to fix it.
There's not supposed to be a hole an open hole in the goal so that they can tell if it's actually a goal or not.
Okay, so it would stay within the net, and it looks like there is an open hole, and they're trying to.
So it looks like they just got it down. So that would cause stoppage time, which the center ref will, once they stop it at 2 minutes, the center ref will then let you know whenever the end of the game is, so that, well, nobody's confused. Honestly, that's what I know.
And it is kicked into midfield, and Pearl trying to get it on their offensive end. Madison Central deflected back the other way.
And Rusty Paris is trying his hardest to get it up there to Johan or across to Logan Wilmoth so that they can get a goal.
And it'll go out of bounds off the Pirates. It'll be a throw-in for Madison Central. One of the things I want to talk about a little bit is the numbers came out today for enrollment of high schools in MHSAA, which that determines classifications, 5A, 6A, 4A, and so forth. And the way it has been in the past, the largest 32 schools are 6A. The next 32 are 5A and so forth on down through the classifications. I think it changes once you get to 4A instead of 32. I think there are more. I don't know the exact numbers. I knew the top 2 are 32 schools, though. And we'll talk about a little bit of those numbers. Tupelo is the largest high school by enrollment in the state, 2,076.
Ooh.
Tupelo High School. They are 6A classification, obviously.
And is it true what I heard about they might be, you just said they might be reclassifying?
Well, they do that every 2 years automatically. They look at the classifications, look at the enrollment numbers every 2 years, and schools can be reclassified every 2 years.
So is it true that Pearl might actually be reclassified up to 6A with Madison Central and Northwest Rankin and Brandon?
Well, depending on the numbers, and based on the top 32 from the numbers just released, Pearl is tied with Callaway for the 33rd largest school in the state. And I've heard tonight from a pretty reliable source. I'm not going to release who I heard this from just in case it's not fact, but that they are staying with the 32, that Pearl will stay 5A.
Well, let's hope.
What I had heard
crossed.
a rumor is that MHSA was looking at maybe making the top classifications move to 40 schools and trying to even out the 2, 3, 4A numbers to where their football playoffs would start the same as everybody else. I had heard that as a rumor, nothing substantiated. But what I've heard tonight from a pretty reliable source is they are leaving it at 32. If they leave it at, and I think we have a
That
foul.
is a foul right outside the box. But if you're watching, people who are watching on TV, you saw it, or on the internet, you could actually see it was actually in the box, and it should be a dot shot, which is in the penalty box. It's a yellow dot where they place the ball down, and it's one-on-one with the keeper. But the ref is letting them have it outside the box, which not many Madison Central fans are happy about. I wouldn't be either.
Now Madison Central is going to kick it
Fake.
across the front, and it'll be deflected on a header by the Pirates. And the Pearl now trying to clear it.
And that was deflected by senior Daniel Scarborough.
Will Roberts gets it cleared out, but the Madison Central defender's there to stick it back to his end of the field.
Well, you know, most of the players on the boys' team, their older siblings played at Pearl.
Okay.
Like Will Roberts, his two sisters, Anna and Hillary. Daniel Scarborough had an older brother, Michael Scarborough. And it's kind of like a family tradition at Pearl. If one person plays soccer, the rest of the family plays soccer.
Johan Marin gets to the ball just before the keeper gets to it.
And if he can
gets
stop
it, in there.
it.
And they clear it out. Madison Central does. It'll be Pearl's throw in here on the near side.
That keeper did not look like he was in any hurry to get back.
No, and of course, Johan Marin's going at him pretty hard trying to beat the ball. And, of course, Johan, as I mentioned earlier, played the Mike linebacker position for the football team. Not scared of contact if it comes up.
Johan, as a kid playing, I remember this, he was a hothead. He was getting fights left and right. So it's nice to see that he has calmed down. He doesn't slam into people like on the football field. I guess it's good.
I did see him get into one of his own offensive players during practice back in the early part of the season, and had a little had to be separated.
Well, that can happen in any sport, though.
But Coach Perry liked it. I mean, he went to both players.
Because
Hey, I like it, but remember, you're with each other. Now, when the whistle blows, stop.
It's that fire that you want to see in their players. I mean, that happened on the boys' soccer team. That happened on the girls' soccer team. It just, you cannot say it's only girls that do it. Boys do that too.
Now, Johan trying to get the ball. Now, the Pirates come up, and they will clear it into the offensive end.
And that's Logan Wilmuth going down the sideline, and he's going to get it into Chase Williams, who's going to send it back to Dalton Sullivan. And Dalton tries to take a shot, but misses.
29-25 to go in the first half. No score. Pearl Pirate Soccer against Madison Central. Going back to our classification, we're looking at Pearl is tied with Callaway with 1,093 students in enrollment. That is 33rd. So and we've been informed that they're leaving it at 32 by a pretty reliable source. So if that is the case, we will remain 5A. Now, a couple of schools that I've noticed that have moved from 5A to 6A, memory serves me correctly, let's see, I was looking at it a while ago. Starkville moves up to 6A. Looking up to see if who else was in the 5A. I guess that's the only one that really stood out.
And see, this could actually prove to be good for Pearl. It actually really could, because they could be taking out some of the threats.
True. Callaway was 6A. If this is the case, they're moving down to 5A. Vicksburg was 6A. They're moving down to 5A. Natchez was 6A. They're moving down to 5A. Of course, Natchez upset Meridian this year in football.
And we upset Vicksburg in football, if I remember.
It wasn't an upset.
Well, we beat them.
We beat Vicksburg, but it wasn't an upset. Vicksburg had a struggle this year.
If you beat someone, it's an upset to me.
Upset only means if they were supposed to win and they didn't.
Well, you know what? They lost.
You're right. Pearl once again gets it down to their end. Johan trying to get control of it. Madison Central clears it back to middle of the field. Once again, Pearl sticks it quickly back in that end. And one of the things I've noticed is just in this exchange right here, the ball's in the air a lot instead of on the ground a lot, which, as you mentioned earlier, they really want to get it down to the ground. Out of bounds, it'll be a Pearl throw-in.
What's easier, controlling the ground?
Right.
Dalton Evans throwing it in for the Pirates. There's too many Daltons on this team. He tries to get it over to Johan, but it's too short.
Madison Central gets it back out. Once again, it'll go out of bounds. It'll be Pearl throw-in. No score. Again, we're in the first half. 26 minutes to go in the first half. Pearl and Madison Central. I'm real impressed right now with the way Pearl is playing with them and maintaining, pretty much controlling the pace of the game right now. The ball, it seems to me, has spent more time on our offensive end than Madison Central's.
And that's always what you want, because that
Sure.
gives you a more opportune chance to.
But unlike the girls' game that we saw, the Madison Central girls pretty much maintained the pace.
Oh, they
and kept
dominated
it on
our
the attack
girls.
most of the time. And as of this point, the Pearl boys, even though they haven't got the shots on goal, have pretty much controlled the ball on their end. Right now, Madison Central, though, does get an opportunity.
Dalton Evans deflects it with the header, but deflects it right to a Madison Central player, and that's really not – I don't think that's what he wanted to do.
Finally, it is cleared by the Pearl Pirates.
And Johan's going to go after that keeper to make sure that maybe he can get it. But, I mean,
But
when
he's
you're,
keeping the
when
keeper
you're
honest.
one-on-one with someone and you're in the middle of the field, I mean, there's not really much you can do.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the keeper can't pick it up unless he's within the 18 in that box.
Well, his own player passed it back to him, so he was not able to pick it up.
Okay.
And now, if it's deflected off of his player, he is able to pick it up and control the ball. But he
can only use his hands if he's inside that box.
If he's inside the box. If he is outside, it is considered a handball, just like everybody else.
Right.
The only place where that keeper is safe is in the box.
And that's within that 18 box, isn't it right? Or is that
The big box, the
big
18 box.
Because there's another box and that box is called the
6.
The 6, okay.
For those who don't know, the big box, yep, that's the 18. Because there are some people that don't know this.
You're exactly right. I was one of them before tonight, and you're educating me. By the time we do 2 more games, I might actually know something about this sport.
Then you might not need me.
I doubt that'll happen.
Okay. I might still be in a job. Not a paying job, but still a job. I donate my time.
To your school.
To my, always bleed blue and gold.
They had to retrieve the ball. Madison Central will get a throw in on the far side. And it looks like here he is. He's trying to throw it all the way up into the front of the goal and does. And the shot just goes wide off the head of a Madison Central player. And unlike the normal throw in where you're throwing it literally to a person, that time his job was kind of like the corner kick. He was throwing that ball into the middle, hoping one of his players.
Well, you sometimes get random players who can throw and I mean, they can chunk a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually score off a throw in.
Well, he threw that ball roughly 30 yards.
And if he would have gone into the goal, it would
Right.
have been one.
But Pearl's able to dodge that. Now they try to get it going back their direction.
Now Will Roberts clears it out of the back, but it does not make it up the field. It makes it out.
So Madison Central gets the throw in. That ball will go into the big box, the 18, and the goalkeeper, Bailey Hart, will get it. Give his players a chance to move back up the field.
And Bailey's also on the football team.
Bailey's
He's the kicker.
Field goal kicker and extra point kicker. Kicked off some this year. He and Will Roberts kind of took turns on kickoff duties.
So he's kind of following right in his brother's footsteps of football
exactly
and
right.
soccer.
And Bailey's a junior. He's got another year.
Now
He's not quite the kicker that is Tyler was
well,
as a
Bailey
field
got
goal kicker
into it later
Right.
than Tyler did.
Now, again, I said he's a junior, so he's got another year to work on it. Tyler's a pretty tall order to follow. Tyler's a pretty good kicker.
And people always said that he was like a little ninja or a spider monkey back there in the goal because, I mean, he's maybe 5'7", maybe, not very tall for a keeper, but he could make saves that.
Now, you talking about Bailey?
No, Tyler.
Okay.
He can make
Yeah,
saves
Tyler's
that,
small.
and he can make saves that not many other keepers could, and he's smaller than them, but he could jump.
That's what counts.
Now, in football, that's a different story for him.
But that's why he's a kicker. It doesn't matter how big he is when he can kick.
Well, I remember one time we were playing at JPS school, and he kicked it off, and they were trying to run it right back down our throats, and he took out a guy but messed up his knee right before soccer.
Shot on goal, goes high and hits the football goal post, comes back into play, and it looks like Bailey thought he was limping
He's
getting
a
up.
little bit upset with himself because, or his team. I mean, it should not be getting back to him. If the team is doing their job, it should not get back to the keeper. The keeper should be sitting back there freezing because it is kind of cold out there.
I hadn't even checked the weather. Normally I'll give a weather forecast when I come up here and do these games.
Well, see, I just reminded you.
You did. Let me push my button on my iPad here and give you a weather forecast. I've got it right here.
The Weather Channel.
52.
It is 51 degrees. Well, I'm in the wrong. Let me go. It popped up to the wrong one. Let me get here to the right spot that I want.
I have 52.
It is 51 degrees.
It says it's mostly cloudy, too.
AccuWeather says 52.
Right, north wind at 5. Humidity at 70%. Dew point at 42 degrees. Visibility 10 miles. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m., in case you're wondering.
And I will still be asleep.
Me too.
Because I do not have a class until 8 a.m., so I'll be asleep till 7:30.
Now, I do have other sources I can check weather from. That just happened to be the one I hit first because it's the one I use most often.
And there's a sub for the Pearl Pirates. Connor Brennan and Caleb McMillan are coming in for Dalton Sullivan. And a new player to the team, Francisco Ramos, who's a junior. I'm guessing he transferred here this year because I've never seen him.
Must have.
Ever.
And player goes down, but incidental contact. The official right there watching it. Pearl deflects it, goes down into the offensive end for the Pirates. Madison Central is going to chase it down, kick it back to his goalkeeper, and he will clear it back out. Not really a very good job of getting it out of the danger zone for Madison Central, though. Now at midfield, a couple of players between Pearl and Madison Central battling for it, and Pearl will come away with the advantage. Gets it to Johan in the middle, works against a player. Good job of Johan splitting defenders, and then gets a halfway kick at goal. The goalkeeper's there to take it away, though. I did check one of my other weather sources. That says 52, like someone else here in the box said.
Our executive producer.
Yeah, of course. I got a bunch of them on here. I got probably half dozen different weather apps that I can pull up and look at.
He has the Weather Channel and Weather Bug, Lifestyle Forecast. Noah.
WeatherBug says 51. I do have Noah on here.
I've never seen someone with so many weather apps on their iPad. This is Weather Now by WLBT.
Mm-hmm. Which is now part of DBD too with them. They merged. Actually, LBT bought out the company that owns LBT, bought the company that owned WDBD. And so now Fox 40 is the same company as WLBT Channel 3. And some of their personnel are now crossing over. Barbie's doing weather on Fox.
And Connor Brennan is in the box, and he gets it off of a Madison Central player, and it is a corner kick for the Pirates, which this could be dangerous for the Madison Central Jaguars, but it could be beneficial for us.
Chase Williams will be doing the corner kick for the Pirates as he gets it set where he wants it. The Pirate.
And that was a good play by Connor Brennan, deflecting it off a Madison Central player.
Gets
That's
it
usually
across
what
the
you want to
goal,
do.
and it's going to be headed out by a Madison Central defender.
And Devon Williams sends it right back in, but it's far.
Off to the right.
See, I don't know my directions. That's why I have you.
I'm good at right and left, north and south, east and west.
South's that way, right?
You're right.
Okay.
For those that wonder, she just pointed to our right, so she was correct.
Pointing towards Hattiesburg.
Towards Hattiesburg. It is south of here. You're right. It's all right. I had a little sister. She's still my little sister. I've got a little sister that had no clue north, south, east, and west.
Well, I only know that because you go that way to go to the coast in Hattiesburg, and you go that way to go to Stark Vegas. I don't know. I said Stark Vegas. I was going to say Starkville and Stark Vegas at the same time. We're going to stick with Stark Vegas, though. I have a sister up there.
You do?
I do. One of my 3 older sisters.
I didn't know you had 3 older sisters.
Kristen is the oldest.
I only know of her.
And then there's Carrie, who's our oldest stepsister. And then there's Robin, who is the youngest stepsister. And then there's me, and just the baby.
How about that? I didn't know of all of you. I just knew of 2 of you.
Don't you feel bad for my dad? 4 girls. 5 if you count my stepmom.
Johan's got a chance on a breakaway, and the goalkeeper gets there to take it.
That was a bad touch by Johan.
He did a good job of jumping over the goalkeeper instead of hitting him, but
we'll see if he would have ran into him. He could risk the chance of him getting hurt himself and not just hurting him.
Out of bounds off the Pirates. It'll be a throw-in for Madison Central. Still no score. 16.5 to go here in the first half. Madison Central and Pearl here at Ray Rogers Stadium on the Pirate Media Network.
Madison Central is in the Pearl's defensive third, but defender Daniel Scarborough sends it up to Johan Marin.
Battle for the ball with a Madison Central player. I think that's number, is that 6 or 8? 8-6, Nolan Aldrich?
Or 5. It's so hard to tell from up here.
It is number 8, Nicholas Olander.
Good thing you have those binoculars. And Madison Central is just stringing pass after pass around the Pearl players. And then they just foul at one of the Pearl players.
Knocked him down, and it'll be a free kick for our Pearl Pirates at about the 35-yard line.
And Will Roberts is taking the kick for the Pirates.
He was the one on the football team that when Coach Perry wanted a kickoff to go into the end zone, he let Will Roberts do the kick. He had more end zone kicks than Bailey did.
And Will's 2 older sisters played on the Lady Pirates soccer team back in 2001 when they won the first and last state championship in Lady Pirate history. I have always said that he learned how to be mean from Hillary, but he got his ball skill from Anna.
Okay.
So
Hillary was mean?
Hillary is kind of a bulldozer. She's aggressive.
Yeah.
She's aggressive.
It's better for a girl to be aggressive. A boy can be mean. A girl just needs to be aggressive.
Oh, I'm mean.
Okay. That's what Kristen said.
She is too. I grew up with her. Of course I have to be mean.
Okay. Had to defend yourself, right?
Of course. I mean, whenever you see an older sister coming at you with a curling iron and a straightener and some makeup, you run.
Out of bounds off Madison Central. It'll be Pearl throw-in on the far side. We haven't gotten to get any reply text from her, so I don't know whether she's still listening or not.
I don't know.
I sent her a text a little while ago at 7:15. She hasn't responded to me yet.
Well, maybe my sister, if you're listening, I love you. I just want you to know that. Since you said I better love you. But you might want to reply to DP because he might need your help on this. Unless he would like me to join him. Then you don't have to.
Of course, you tried to step in when I was on my Pocono trip.
Kristen or me?
You.
Oh, yes. No, I asked if I could help.
You did, and you are.
I am.
I had to wait for the proper spot to put you.
Proper sport.
Where you could excel.
Yes, I will admit Kristen does know more about football.
I think we have a penalty. We do. Against Pearl, it'll be a Madison Central kick.
Looks like Chase Williams threw an elbow, and that really is not the best thing to do. You can get called for that, and that can cause a red card.
Now there's a attack by the Pearl Pirates. Madison Central chasing it down. Got a chance. It's past the goalie, and it scores. The Pearl Pirates score a goal against Madison Central as the goalkeeper came out to try to get it, trying to pick out for sure who scored it. I'm thinking it was number 33.
But they're calling the goal back for an offsides.
Oh, no.
So his breakaway was unfortunate.
Dylan Pitts was able to get away and score, and it's called back offsides. Dylan was one with us also on that youth leadership trip, Rankin Youth Leadership, along with Drew. And it's an honor to be selected for that. They have to go through an application process and an interview process to be selected to be a part of Rankin Youth Leadership. So it's quite an honor to get to be a part of that. Schools representing, our students representing every school in Rankin County. High schools are all juniors in high school. And of course, including Pearl, and the only school not represented is Park Place Christian Academy. It's the only school not represented. Out of bounds off of Madison Central. Pearl gets the throw in.
Dalton Evans throwing it in, and he's looking for an open player, but they're subbing, and John Adamez is coming in for Johan Marin. I said Adamez.
You did. You did good. I'll tell him you said that. And now we've got Madison Central, I think, wanting to make some subs. So they stop for a moment to allow them to do that. Looks like 3 coming on, 3 going off.
And apparently I'm mistaken. In my years of playing soccer, I do not know one thing. And I've been informed of that you cannot score off of a throw-in. It has to touch a player first. And I thank you to my secret source who reminded me of that.
Okay. So that means we've got somebody out there listening, paying attention to keep us in line. I like that.
And she loves listening to us on the radio, just so you know.
Really? Okay, so we do have a radio listener of soccer tonight. We discussed whether or not soccer would really translate well to radio.
Well,
when you on television and internet, you can watch it because there's so much that we're not going to call, like I do a football play-by-play or a basketball play-by-play. You can't do that with soccer, really.
Well, soccer parents, they can listen to it on the radio, and they can picture what's going on, and
even if you're not calling every kick, every pass, every piece of action.
I guess when we go silent, they know something good is happening. We're waiting to report it.
Well, no, what I figured out, if we go silent, means they're kicking it around in the middle field, not doing anything.
No, we don't know what. We can't say Pearl, Madison Central. Someone has the ball.
I mean, right now it's down in the 18, and Madison Central on the attack, but Pearl's going to clear it out. But that's what I told Frank earlier. I said, if they're just kicking around the middle field and nothing going on, that means we're not saying anything. So if there's silence, and that means they're kicking around the middle field with nothing going on. But anytime they get towards the attack thirds, the offensive thirds, then obviously we're letting them know what's happening.
And that's like when they start clustering up in the middle of the field, that's when you want to get it out, and you want to spread the field back out and keep the play of the pace of the game fast, because it's when it's in the middle, it slows down.
Right. Right now Madison Central's getting a throw in, and they'll look like get their big thrower as they'll try to throw it across the front of the goal and have to hit some other Madison Central player before it goes into the goal. He can't just throw it directly in. We've been informed. Corrected. Well, hey, I like that. I mean, I've had that happen in a number of broadcasts. I love it when listeners or viewers will send us messages and let us know tidbits of information that are important to the broadcast.
I just love knowing that people are listening and think I'm doing
Isn't
good.
Isn't that awesome? So you thought it was just me and you up here, didn't you?
Well, I thought somebody was listening out there, but I didn't know if I actually knew the person. Turns out I do.
Madison Central gets it in. Bailey chases it down.
He stops right before he gets to the end line so that it is not a corner kick, because that would probably be bad, and I can imagine Chris Rash would have some words to say to him.
Pearl gets the ball and tries to head offensively. Madison Central clears it out. Number 17, Dakota Tate, with a big kick.
Will Roberts gets it over to Dalton Evans, who clears it up the field to John Adamez, who accidentally heads it right back to to Madison Central's attacking third.
Not what you want to do. The header's fine, but not that direction at that point. Especially.
From how it looked like he was trying to flick it behind his head, behind him, so that another offensive player could run onto it and have a breakaway.
John, of course, is also part of the digital media class at Pearl High School that helped with our broadcast of football games throughout this fall. We'll have them back in action once we get to baseball season. John clears it to the left side.
Where Chase Williams is there and Connor Brennan is running on.
Now they get it down to the middle, and John misses the kick, and the Madison Central gets it back. Pearl tries to get it. Dylan Pitts can't get to it, and has got a foul against Madison Central, I believe.
it looks like the Madison Central player tried to kick while he was still on the ground, which if you were watching the girls' game, you see that that does not work.
So now Pearl will get a free kick.
And Chase Williams is going to take it, and it looks like he's asking Chris Rash, well, where do I put it?
So what do you want done? Coach Rash giving an instruction?
Because he can either send it to an outside or he can directly shoot it.
Madison Central has 4 defenders 10 yards away, which is the closest you can be.
And even with the markings on the football field, they don't know what 10 yards is.
So now they get them where they're supposed to be, and now we're ready. And it's a kick on goal, and the goalkeeper gets it, and he will clear it out. And evidently it was not a direct, it was an indirect, because Pearl did have a player that touched it before he hit it. And if I'm understanding, that's the difference. As long as one player touches it before you kick it, it's an indirect. Isn't that right?
Well, if my secret source is still listening, she could... This person
that's
could
what happened,
text
you're saying,
me and let me know what this is, because I'm still confused.
Because before Chase kicked it, another player just moved it.
Daniel Scarborough touched it.
And all Daniel did was move it maybe 6 inches. But he did move the ball, and then Chase kicked it. And so I'm thinking that's what on an indirect, that's the only requirement to be an indirect is at least one of the players has to kick it before you kick it towards the goal or attempt the goal. A direct would be it doesn't have to touch anybody else, but an indirect has to touch somebody else.
According to what my phone keeps saying, yes.
Okay. I did a little bit of study.
See, I'm glad people out there will actually study and look it up and not try to. Are you trying to take my food? Not try to act like they know what they're talking about.
I spent 23 years in sales in the financial services industry, and one of the things, and I did some training in that as well later on, but one of the things I always would train people, say, look, don't be scared to say I don't know, and I will find out. And that was one thing I learned earlier, and I've not forgotten that in my broadcast. I'll be the quick to tell you I don't know, but I'll find out, and then I usually will research it. And now with the advent of the Internet that I didn't have in my early part of my financial services career, you can find out pretty quick about things. Madison Central has the ball. We're nearing 5 minutes to go in the first half. Now Pearl's going to come up and get it back on the offensive third, trying to get it out. Dylan Pitts working hard against a Madison Central defender.
And he
still
gets
chasing after the ball, trying to get it back centered.
And plays it to Connor. Ooh.
Madison Central clears it, heads it to their way. And now the Pearl defender has to hustle back. It's going to be out of bounds, a throw in for Madison Central.
And Daniel Scarborough kicks it out. And some of Madison Central fans are yelling that should have been a foul. But if you are watching, he touched the ball, kicked the ball out, and the player ran into him. So as long as he got all ball, he was fine.
So now we're getting the big thrower from Madison Central to come throw it in from this side. It's the same one they keep trying to use to throw it all the way across in front of the goal. I'm trying to see his number, but I recognize this is the same person each time.
Looks like 10.
Number 10 is Graham Aldrich. And he'll back up, get his running start, plant, throw it all the way across the front of the goal, headed toward the goal and wide, and Bailey Hart's there to get it.
And now all the Pearl players are getting up the field so that no Madison Central player can be by the goal. And Bailey punts it right to a Madison Central player.
But Pearl gets it back towards their end. Madison Central, though, gets possession.
And it is the sideline ref is calling offsides, that he was offsides, then he ran back onside to get the ball, which is not right.
Okay.
And so now it's going to be a free kick for the Pirates.
So now with a free kick from here, you can't kick it all the way to the goal. That's a long ways. But does he try to kick this as deep as he can and try to get to Pearl in that offensive third, that attack third?
Basically. And he tries to get it to an open place or like right in front of the goal, like he just tried to get it to John. And the person who kicked it is Dalton Evans, that I'm referring to as he. And that's usually just what you want to do. You want to get up there to where another player can get it. And that was out, so it's going to be a Madison Central throw-in.
And that was Dalton Evans that tried to get it with his left foot and bring it back up the field and couldn't get it squared back in. So it'll be Madison Central throw-in. 2:45 to go in the half on the clock. Of course, remember, a clock in soccer is an inexact science. Somewhere in that range.
And it looks like the power thrower's coming right back over. He told his player, no, leave it. So.
And so he sets up, and from this spot, he feels like he can throw it all the way into the front of the goal. And he does. And it's going to be headed by Madison Central. Kick towards the goal, but wide right. They'll try to get it, clear it back, but a Pearl player kicks it, and it went across the end line.
Kick.
So it'll be a corner kick. Or did it?
It's a goal kick because it was kicked off of a Madison Central player.
I couldn't tell who hit it last. The Madison Central player hits it last, so it's a goal kick. Bailey Hart will set it on the 6th line. Wait for the players, as Daniel pointed out, to clear, and then he kicks it towards the near side.
On these, you want to get it out, and you want to get it up to your team before the opposing team sets up. But also you want to make sure that your team is turned around and looking to make sure that they know that you're ready to kick, and they know that they need to be ready to receive.
The clock now is, we're inside the 2 minutes, so it's just now whenever the referee feels the time has expired. Madison Central has the ball near midfield. They kick it towards the offensive end. Pearl trying to stop the flow for Madison Central, and they do. Now can they clear it and get it to their end?
It looks like it's gone up to
John Adamas.
And now Dylan Pitts.
1-on-3, and he's just going to hit it far to the left side, but there's nobody there chasing after it.
Is Connor Brennan, who actually should have been running onto that before it was even kicked.
Way late getting there.
He does not have that sixth sense in soccer, apparently. I can say that because I hang out with him.
So that time between John and Dylan, they knew somebody's supposed to be there. They're supposed to kick it up that way, and somebody's supposed to get there.
Your outside mids are supposed to be running out to help you.
Now Madison Central going back, trying to get it around to where they can get it up the field. Again, we're nearing the end of the first half. Pearl gets it back, kicks it back, and it'll go out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Madison Central.
And I see the ref checking his watch on his wrist. So he's probably about to call the half. And in high school, they like to call it, you know, if it's close to going out or if it's like in the middle of the field or something like that.
He's looking, as you said. Now he's going to wait as he watches his watch.
He's going to see if this play goes.
And John Adamas in the center. Dylan Pitts can't get to it. And he just blows the whistle to end the half. We're at the half. Madison Central and Pearl, no score in high school soccer action here at Ray Rogers Stadium. We're going to step away for halftime. Danielle and I will be back for the second half in a moment.
It was once called East Jackson, but the city of Pearl's been coming into its own ever since then. The folks at the Pearl Chamber of Commerce are proud of their city and want to give you just a few facts to consider. For instance, its commitment to excellence in education with Pearl's public schools and the Rankin branch of Hines Community College. It's a community whose people are grounded in faith and family. Consider Pearl's political contributions. Ray Rogers and Dean Kirby in the state legislature, and U.S. Congressman Greg Harper's district headquarters in his hometown of Pearl. It's become a handsome east entrance to the metro area on I-20 with shopping places like Bass Pro and the new Sam's Club, and Trustmark Park, home of the Mississippi Braves. The State Fire Academy is in Pearl, and so is the state headquarters of MEMA and other government agencies. The newly elected slate of city officials is excited about Pearl and making it an even better place. It's come a long way from being just a quaint little neighborhood east of Jackson. The city of Pearl, a city creating its own future.
Hometown Spotlight is sponsored by the Pearl Chamber of Commerce.
Harvey's Fish Hut is located on the corner of Airport Road and Old Whitfield Road in Pearl, Mississippi. Harvey's prides itself on having the best fried catfish in the metro area, as well as tasty pan trout. Harvey's Fish Hut only serves quality Mississippi farm-raised catfish. Dine in or carry out, Harvey's Fish Hut is always served hot and fresh, open Monday through Saturday for both lunch and dinner. So stop by and see Willie Harvey at Harvey's Fish Hut on the corner of Airport Road and Old Whitfield Road, or call to place your order at 601-939-6262. 601-939-6262.
Serving Mississippi since 1967, Mississippi Bonding Company is prepared to help in your time of need. Our agents are the quickest, most efficient, and most educated bail bonds agents in the area. We use state-of-the-art computer equipment and services to process all applications, credit cards, and deliver the necessary documents to get your friends and family released as quickly as possible. All jails, all courts, statewide and nationwide service, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. In trouble? Call Mississippi Bonding Company right now and let our professional agents help.
It's easy to have concerns about your cooling and heating system in the middle of summer, especially when you live in the Deep South. My friends at Hermetic Rush Services recommend you let them take away these worries when you call Hermetic Rush Services at 601-932-7874 for all your residential and commercial cooling and heating needs. You'll feel smarter from the shoulders up and a whole lot more comfortable head to toe. Hermetic Rush Services, where Rush is our middle name. Call them today, 601-932-7874.
Hi, I'm Darryl Palmer, play-by-play broadcaster for Pearl Pirate Athletics, and I've got the privilege and the honor to be sitting here today with the voice of the Pearl Pirates, Ray Rogers. Ray, thanks for being here and welcome.
Well, thank you, DP, for inviting me to come on the show with you. And I just want to tell you on behalf of the people of Pearl that I can say that we really appreciate the contribution that you're making to Pearl Pirate football. Everyone enjoys listening to you on Friday night.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's a lot of fun. I love doing it, and it's amazing how many people I talk to out in the community when I tell them I'm broadcasting for Pearl Pirates. They say, isn't Ray Rogers doing that?
Yeah.
I said, now, don't worry, I'm not replacing Ray Rogers. Ray has still got his seat and will have for as long as he's there.
Well, I think they confuse me as being the public address announcer,
right,
and you being the radio man,
right?
You know, and of course I've been doing the public address announcing now. This is my 48th year, and
so you're getting up there close to Jack Crystal now.
Well, yeah, I think Jack Crystal retired at about 56 years,
something like that.
I don't know whether I can make it that long or not.
We're rooting for you to make it that long.
Well, thank you,
Ray. I do want to take some time here to talk a little bit about some history for Pearl Pirate football, because I know you've been around Pearl Pirate football literally since it began.
That's right.
The school started in 1948, didn't have a football team that year. The first football season was the 49-50 school year. Take me back a little bit to the beginning and kind of tell us how it got started and a little bit about that.
Well, I'll be glad to. This is something that's very dear to my heart and something that I'm very proud to have been a part of, and that was the beginning of Pearl High School and, of course, the beginning of Pearl Pirate football.
Right.
But back in about 46 or 47, a bond issue was passed to build a high school in Pearl. We only went through the 9th grade.
Okay.
And students that finished the 9th grade was bused over to Jackson and went to Madison Central High. And whenever the bond issue was passed and they started building the school, it was completed for us to move in 1948. Now, like you said, in the 1948-49 school year, we didn't have a football team. We did have a basketball and a baseball team.
Okay.
But it took a year for all of us guys who didn't know a thing in the world about football to be trained how to even lace up the shoulder pads,
right,
and put on all the equipment and stuff like that, you know, much less the blocking and tackling techniques and things like that. We had a young man that was hired to come in here. He's a graduate, almost as young as some of us students were. He was a graduate of Murray State, Kentucky.
Okay.
Name was James Cooper, and he was our first football coach. And in the first football season, which is the 49-50 school year, he led us to a 3-6-1 record,
okay,
which was pretty good.
Lost 6 and
we won 3, lost 6, and tied 1. That big tie was the last game of the year on Thanksgiving Day, 0-0 with the Brandon Bulldogs.
Brandon Bulldogs.
And that's where that rivalry started.
Right.
Brandon had been playing football for many years before us. And we went over to Brandon that day and played them to a 0-0 tie. Thought we had won the Super Bowl. We really thought we'd done something.
You were there.
I was there. That's exactly
one
right.
Thing I want to ask you,
but I captained and quarterbacked the first team.
That's pretty impressive. Now, I do want to mention, we talked about the Brandon and the rivalry that's there.
Yeah.
After however many years since 1949, and I want to go back to a thought with that, but now we have the leather helmet, the trophy that's there. Tell me a little bit about that. And you didn't actually wear a leather helmet, but you did tell me that the helmet y'all wore didn't have face masks.
That's right. No, we wasn't that far back. Now the helmets that we wore wasn't much better than the leather helmet.
Okay.
It was kind of between a leather plastic.
Okay.
Hard plastic, but nothing like they have today, of course.
Oh, they're high tech now.
Right. But no, we didn't have face guards.
Okay.
And it wasn't very long into a ball game, especially the linemen, that probably after about the third or fourth play, all of your linemen had busted noses and busted lips and everything else. And if you was able to play a full ball game, whether you was a lineman or a back, without getting a busted nose or a busted lip, then you was a Superman.
I bet you were.
Yes.
Now, talk a little bit about that Brandon-Pearl rivalry, because I think you've told me before that y'all played that year. It was 0-0, and it may have been a couple more years, but then y'all had to stop playing for a few years.
We did. We played, I think it was 4 years.
Okay.
And it just became such a rivalry, not with just the schools, between the schools, but between our fans.
Right.
You know, that the Mississippi Activities Association wanted us to cool it for a couple of years, so they made us quit playing.
Wow.
And that was that really broke both of us' hearts.
I bet it did.
It really did. And it wasn't until after the first football season, but that we weren't able to play each other, that we started, working on the Activities Association to let us go back to playing each other.
How many years did they? Just 2 years.
2 years, and then they let us go back. And of course, we started back just like
didn't miss a beat with the rivalry.
No, sir, not a beat. And I tell everybody all the time, that's been one of the greatest rivalries probably in the state of Mississippi in high school football. It surely is ranked in the top 15.
Oh, no doubt.
Because of the Y'alls versus Us
right.
books that came out, ranked us in the top 15. But that's what it is. It's a rivalry between two neighboring schools in the same county. And I tell everybody, I say, over those 62 years, I've made as many friends in Brandon out of that rivalry
sure.
as anywhere in the state of Mississippi or in Rankin County. And I tell everybody we're not enemies.
Right.
We're just arch rivals.
Exactly.
Which makes for just a great tradition.
Well, one of the things I heard the two mayors say when they actually introduced this trophy, and heard Mayor Tim Coulter and Mayor Brad Rogers make the comment that for 51 weeks out of the year, we can be best friends.
That's right.
But when it comes to Pearl Brandon Week, then, hey, it's
No, that's it.
We're ready.
That's it. That's
right
it.
now, when did it first become Pearl Pirates? How did the pirate become the mascot for Pearl?
Well, it was Pearl Pirates from the very beginning
okay.
of the high school. During the time that the school was being built, well, the students that knew there was going to be coming to Pearl, the principal that had been hired, Mr. L.W. Bright,
okay.
was instrumental in calling all of the high school students, which now DP was less than 60.
Okay, in the whole high school?
In the whole high school,
right.
Less than 60 students. Calling them all together, or as many as he could get, and we met, and he gave us the opportunity to choose the colors and the mascot.
Okay.
Welcome back to Pearl Pirate Athletics here on the Pirate Media Network. I'm DP alongside Danielle as we're bringing you Pirate Soccer tonight against Madison Central. First half, no score. We're getting ready to start the second half, and Madison Central begins with possession of the ball. And the Pearl Pirates will try to attack immediately.
Unlike the girls' game, you can't ask me what Chris Rash said because I probably wouldn't be able to repeat those on the air. But the Pearl boys look like they're coming back and they're going to try to score, but it's deflected by Madison Central. That was really loud.
I would think, I'm sure Coach Rash has some things that he's not happy with. I've never seen a coach totally satisfied with any game, but I would have to think going against the number one team in the state, 0-0 at the half, for the most part, as you and I have commented on, it's been played on the Pearl third offensively.
Throw in Madison Central.
I would think that Coach Rash is probably pretty happy with what he's seen in the first half, wouldn't you think?
Well, he probably is, but he probably, being a player himself, he's probably seeing some things that, he doesn't like. And
sure.
Knowing from experience, there are a lot of things that you can find that you don't like.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, I saw a football coach when I was doing Millsaps football. They went undefeated, and had a game that the only score was a field goal late in the game, in trash time, and he wasn't happy.
Well, I mean,
he found stuff that was not right. I mean, that's just the way coach mentality is. And as the coach, and now Pearl trying to attack on the offensive end.
Rusty Parrish over there trying to get the ball from the Madison Central players, but is unlucky.
Madison Central clears it, but it's come straight back to Pearl way for a moment. Again, Pearl trying to stay on the attack.
Madison Central moving into Pearl's defending third. They're attacking third. It goes out on a Pearl player, and it's a Madison Central throw-in.
And I wonder if we're going to see the power thrower. Nope, we don't have the power thrower going this time.
Well, is he on the field? Looks like he is on the field. He could be
he's out here at midfield.
hurt.
Isn't that him?
That is him. Oh, he sees
Yep,
it.
there you go.
He was not paying attention is what it looks like.
So now the power thrower is heading that direction.
I love how we have dubbed him that nickname.
You like that?
I think it's nice. He might like it too.
And he backs up all the way to the fence so we can get a running start. And then he'll set and throw the ball deep in towards the goal area. Pearl will head it out.
Rusty Parrish is going to try clear it out, but is unlucky and misses.
And that will go a goal kick. Who is that kicked it off the Madison Central player?
That was Will Roberts for the Pirates who kicked it off the Madison Central player. And now they're waiting for a ball because that went very deep into the football practice field.
And there's someone heading after it. Actually, right now is Tanner Berry, a ninth grader on the Pearl team.
They usually send the younger players.
He is retrieving the ball.
And for Pearl High School, they usually send your younger players on the guys' team. On the girls' team, you send your manager. But
well, it's kind of, I know in baseball, when I've been around baseball teams at high school, when they have foul balls out of play, the ninth grade rounds them up. That's what their job is round up foul balls.
Unless you're special like our school, you have Diamond Girls.
Oh, did y'all round up the foul balls?
Yes, well, I did.
I did not realize that. I thought all y'all did was sit around and sell shirts and look pretty.
Well, I did that too. I went and fetched foul balls and looked good doing it.
No argument here. But I do know at another school where I did a lot of work with baseball, their ninth graders are the ones that retrieved all the foul balls. And their Diamond Girls basically brought me food to the press box and sold T-shirts.
Well, see, if you would have asked me to bring you food to the press box, I mean, I would have.
Okay, this year I'll expect you to bring me food to the press box.
But I'm not a Diamond Girl. I'm a Diamond Darling at Heinz, though.
Carry
on the tradition.
That works for me.
See if you can get on at Heinz.
I got a pretty sweet deal at Pearl. I don't know if Heinz can match it.
Probably not.
I mean, I get to hang out with Frank Hutton all the time.
And you get to ask
Ball
collegiate girls to help.
That's right. Take the Poe sisters.
Well, she's not a Poe anymore.
Well, that's true. She's a Wyndham now. But that means she divorced from the Poe family?
No, because you know when a woman gets married, she drops her middle name and her last name becomes her middle name. So I guess she still has it.
She's a rich now, not a Poe.
Madison Central with possession in midfield, though, trying to move it. And Pearl doing a good job of keeping them out. And now another one kicked off the Madison Central player, and it will go out of bounds.
I remember you saying Hutton one time.
Pirates. It was funny when I interviewed Coach Rash a few weeks back. And, of course, he's young. I mean, he played at Pearl. He graduated in 03. Then he played at junior college at Hines and at Mississippi College and played for Mississippi Bree a couple of years. But still is young and still looked like he could still play. And I said, how hard is it for you working with these players to not want to get out there and do it? And he said, it's really tough.
Well, see, you said earlier he played at Pearl. They won state most of the years he was here. Actually, I think all the years he was here.
Okay.
He also played at Hines.
He's a two-year All-American at Hines.
The first game at Hines was against the current team and the alumni team. And Chris Rash played on that. And he played against the players that he coached.
Right.
Because at Pearl, there are 6 or 8 Pearl players on that team. Okay. Most of the team is Pearl. So it's just girls and boys. You have a majority Pearl players.
Now the goal kick for Madison Central will wait and then clear the ball. And it'll go to a Pearl player who can't get a foot on it. And then we've got a foul.
It looks like the Madison Central player jumped, tried to go against him, but Devon Wilson flipped him apparently, and that's a foul. And the ref tried to call it against Madison Central when it was actually against Pearl, but I think the Pearl fans would have preferred it the other way.
Of course. Now Madison Central hits it all the way in front of the goal, and Bailey Hart's there to retrieve the ball.
And he's going to let all of his defenders get out, push everybody up the field, and then he's going to punt it and try to get it all the way up to Johan, but it does not make it that
Just
far.
shy. One thing I noticed when Bailey punts it, he doesn't actually punt it. It's a drop kick.
Tyler does that too. They actually
Okay.
train together, so they both have that tendency to just kind of drop it and kick it, which you can do that.
Well, I mean, and the old-fashioned football drop kick actually hits the ground, and almost like the instant it hits the ground, your foot's on it to kick it. So it's almost like kicking it off a tee.
So, I mean, they were football players too, so I guess they kind of learned that way.
Of course, that's no longer in use in football. But used to, I'm talking years ago, back in the 40s, they would drop kick, and they could drop kick it through the goalpost just like a field goal.
And that's a handball for Madison Central. They did?
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Oh, wow.
It's no longer
like
in-
Ray
no-
Rogers a long time ago?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's no longer a part of football anymore. It's not even in the rules to be able to be done now. I don't remember that. I read about it in the history book.
Madison
point that
Central
out,
with
I'm not that
possession
old.
right now, heading into Pearl's defending third, and the Pearl players are just like running around trying to catch the person with the ball and get it out. It looks like Will Roberts is defending it right now, kicks it off a Madison Central player, and it is a goal kick. So good job, Will Roberts.
Good job by Will to prevent attack on goal. Now, again, as you mentioned a moment ago, Bailey will wait for his players to clear.
And he's waiting on Will to actually get on the field because Will was retrieving the ball.
Well, yeah, Bailey already had another ball set and ready, but Will went ahead and got that one. They tossed it over there beside the goal. And now Bailey clears it to midfield. Header by Madison Central.
Number 36 just came in for Daniel Scarborough, I guess to give him a little bit of rest because Daniel's one of those players that he's really good, but he always just tires himself out.
I will say this. That was a pretty good flop by Johan. He got the foul call. But he wasn't hit hard enough to be knocked down. That was a pretty good flop by Johan. Good acting. Very good acting.
Like I have said, there are coaches who will tell you if you get in the box, if you get near the box, and you do not have a shot, take that dive and get that kick. And they say don't make it not a sissy dive.
Right.
You better make it look like it was Hollywood film ready.
Well, Johan is a punter on the football team, so he'll need to learn that. And we may have an injury by a Pearl player. He's able to get a foot on the ball. He may have been faking it because he got up now and made a good play on it, but he's
Dalton Evans looks like he is hurt.
He's
He's
waving
asking
his
for a
hand.
sub.
Yep.
It looks like he was either kicked, and it looks like Chris Rash is looking down his line trying to figure out who can I put in.
I don't know that he saw him. Yeah, he was putting a substitute.
He does. He's putting.
He was putting Logan Wilmoth in, but now he's changing. Instead of letting Michael Carpenter come out, he's going to leave him in and let Dalton come out.
He is. Chris Rash put Logan Wilmoth in for Rusty Parrish, but then had to put Rusty right back in for Dalton Evans. I don't have to look at the roster to know who that one is.
Okay, but I thought it was Michael Carpenter, 17.
17 is Rusty Parrish. Oh. No, that's.
Long kick up the field. Johan Marin tries to control it, and it'll go out of bounds. We're being told, Danielle's pointing out that we may have some numbers backwards on our roster.
Rusty Parrish is number 17, and Michael Carpenter is number 24.
Okay. I will need to correct that before our next game. That ball's coming all the way up here to us.
Good kick by Daniel Ray, who tries to clear it out.
I hope our camera operator was on that one because that one literally landed about 3 rows in front of the press box. It was so high up here.
And when in doubt, kick it out. He had nowhere else to go, and so he kicked it out a little bit too high, though.
If you're going to kick it out, make sure it goes out, I guess.
Exactly.
I was ready to catch that one. I had you protected. Don't worry.
All right, and now Pearl is back on the attack with Johan running towards the ball, but a little power thrower over there is.
That's right. That's Graham Aldrich. And he realized Johan was outrunning him, so he got the ball quick enough to clear it to out of bounds. Be a throw in for the Pirates.
I'm kind of wondering with those kind of arms if he either plays football or baseball.
I would think he would probably play something.
Because he's got to play something else with that kind of throw in.
He doesn't play football because Madison Central has a playoff game tomorrow night.
Yeah, so
and if he plays football on Madison Central's football team, he wouldn't be out here tonight. With them playing Olive Branch tomorrow night in the semifinals for the North. I don't think.
So I'm going to guess baseball then.
He could play baseball.
He kind of looks like a baseball player from here. You know, they have that certain demeanor about them. I've noticed that. Well, you notice things like that. You really do.
From a girl, you do.
Yeah, from a girl, you do.
Okay. Madison Central with a throw in. Far enough out, they're not using the power thrower.
How about we change that to Hulk? We're going to change it to Hulk. He is the biggest kid on the field.
Madison Central trying to clear it and get into the middle of the field. Pearl defense doing a good job of keeping them away.
And that was a miss by a Madison Central player. And Pearl gets it up to Johan, who sends it back to Dylan Pitts. And Johan's going to try to run onto it and get there before the keeper can kick it. But keeper brings it back into his box and picks it up, which that is legal.
He couldn't pick it up when it was outside the box. Once he got it back in the box, he could. Is that right?
He can bring it back in to touch it.
And now he'll punt the ball high towards midfield. Madison Central heads it into the center of the field. Pearl defenders there.
Daniel Ray getting it from him, but sending it to another Madison Central player. And there's Devon Wilson sending it back up to Johan. And the keeper is waiting for the ball to get into his box. And it looks like Johan's getting a little mad out there with the defender just.
The defender was basically screening him from the ball as the keeper was coming up to get it. And Johan couldn't get around him, and he was crying foul. Looked back to the official to get a whistle, but it did not happen.
The old Johan probably wouldn't have stood for that. He probably would have turned on and hit him.
You're saying Johan is becoming older and wiser?
I hope so. Something's happening.
I'm impressed that we've played over 50 minutes of soccer, and we're holding the number one team in the state to 0.
Madison Central still trying to get the ball to their end.
Number one in the state is playing Pearl, who's not even ranked, and the score is still 0-0. So Pearl has to be feeling really confident right now.
And
we're not even ranked, and we're tying the
ball
number
at
one.
Goal, and it hits the upright of the football goal post. Comes back into the field of play, but it'll be a goal kick for Bailey Hart. Yeah, we're at 25:40 to go in the ball game. We're in the second half. And as you mentioned, number one team in the state, and there's no score at this point.
John Adamez is subbing in for Johan Marin, and Francisco Ramos went in for Devon Wilson. This Francisco kid is really impressing me. He was not here when I was here, so I'm very impressed with how he's playing out there.
Pearl has played 3 games, 2-1 record. They've outscored their opponents on the season, as we mentioned earlier, 7-3, 33-12 in shots on goal.
Which for 3 games, that's actually really good.
Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned earlier tonight, we talked about it, Ryan Worsham and
Morgan Coughlin are not here because they're at a college tournament. Well, it's like you're playing down with 2 of your better players, and you're still tying the number one team in the state. You have got to be feeling like, all right, we can do this. Yeah, we got knocked out last year, second round of playoffs, just like the girls did.
Right.
But we're holding this team. We can do this. 1 goal can change the whole game.
Well, and you're looking at this as our 4th game in. You're looking at region play doesn't begin for another 3 weeks or so.
Thank
so,
goodness.
You're looking at this saying, okay, this is good warm-up. You're playing against, again. And I like to see this. Coach Perry has the same philosophy in football. Don't play easy games early on.
To be the best, you have to beat the best.
Thank you very much. And so we're doing that. We're playing, the girls play the number 2 team in the state, boys playing the number 1 team in the state. you play these tight teams, win or lose, you're learning a lot, you're gaining experience, you're getting ready. The girls obviously disappointed 6-0, but didn't play that bad. They was a superior team on the field tonight.
Dalton Evans just went in for Will
and
Roberts.
The ball's loose from Bailey and trying to get it. The Pirates trying to clear it out. It's still loose.
And Bailey, the Pirates clear it out, even though Bailey all had a hand on it, and a Madison Central player kicked it. That should have not been allowed.
But the Pirates do a good job of getting it out, getting it back to midfield. Gives Bailey a chance to catch his breath, because I know for a moment there he was scrambling, trying, as you said, on the ground with the ball, or trying to get a hold of the ball and just couldn't grasp it as a Madison player kicked it.
Daniel Scarborough's coming back in for, it looks like, well, I actually cannot tell who that is. Michael Carpenter, I think. There's not a 36 on here.
He does have a 36 on the front of his jersey. 35 is the biggest number I got, so I'm not sure of this. Don't know who that is.
I'm going to say that they accidentally put a 5 instead of a 6, and I'm going to go with his hit. Might be Hunter Cagle, maybe. Not sure.
Madison Central defender retrieves the ball deep in the Pearl offensive third. Trying to clear it into the middle. Missed a Madison Central player, but there was no Pearl player there to play the ball. So now it's just a scramble for it.
And seeing Pearl play like this is really good, because they lost a lot of seniors last year, and a lot of those were starters. Tyler Poe, Blake and Nathan, and I mean they just lost so many. And Kyle Gilmore, Taylor Deese, Breland Brooks, they lost so many players. So seeing them come back out here with younger people starting, well, people who actually were young to us, but now they're juniors, they're really stepping up and proving that they can handle this team just as well as anybody else could.
Got to be enthused. As I said, we're 21 minutes to go in the ball game. It's still 0-0 against Madison Central, the number one team in the state. Got to be pretty enthused about the future of this Pearl team here in the 2012-2013 season as we go through this winter and get ready for region play. This team's going to contend. Would love to see us get out and attack and actually get a ball in the goal, though. Can't
First,
win
we got to
if you
get
don't
it
score.
out of the air. And Dalton Evans going up against the Madison Central player, and he's trying to keep up with him, and he shoves him down, and that's going to be a free kick for Madison Central. It doesn't look like that Madison Central player was happy either.
And that's a free kick down here, pretty close to an attack in on about along the 10, 11, 12-yard line.
And Dalton Evans is a hothead because he's a redhead. I can say that. I can say that. Being a redhead, I can say that redheads are hotheads.
And there's the kick over in front of the goal. It's going to be headed, and
it's
Madison
out.
Central keeps it in play.
But Pearl's getting it out, and they're forcing them to go back to the middle third.
Ball's high in the air. Bailey Hart just trying to stay ready. As Pearl can't get it cleared out completely, that ball stays in play. So Madison Central dodges two Pearl defenders. And Pearl just can't get a solid kick on it to actually clear it out. As Madison Central's able to keep it on their end.
Looks like Hulk kind of stepped over John Adames just to get that ball.
Still in the middle of the field, and now comes back towards Madison Central way. And the header back into their territory, and the Pearl player now has a chance finally and to clear the ball up to midfield and out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Madison Central, but up near midfield, and that gives the defenders a chance to catch their breath and reset.
It looks like Chris Rash is getting ready for his subs because he's got 4 players staying on the sideline waiting to go in. So the next time Pearl can sub, he's putting people in.
And once again, Madison Central down on deep end. Pearl gets a big, high, long kick to midfield. The Madison Central power thrower, Hulk as you call him, towered above John Adames to head it back towards the Madison Central.
He's just so much taller than John, so
is.
John just really does not stand a chance jumping.
Not when it comes to a header especially. Madison Central controls the ball at midfield. Pearl player with a chance to chase it down, but he's going to let it run out of bounds. It'll be a Pearl throw-in on the far side. And now Coach Rash will get his substitutes onto the field.
Will Roberts, Devon Wilson, and Caleb McMillan are all coming in for Logan Wilmuth, Rusty Parrish, and Connor Brennan, who are all juniors. So he's subbing in some seniors for the juniors.
And with inside 20 minutes to go, Pearl trying to get one last rush and attack. Right now, the one player not out there that we've seen most of the time in that attack position is Johan. John Adamas is still in that position. And now Madison Central has a chance, and Pearl actually kicked it out of bounds. It'll be a a corner kick for Madison Central, I believe.
And that can happen. You're trying to get back to defend your goal, and the ball gets crossed right in front of you, and you're still running, so it just hits your foot, and there's no controlling it.
And so it'll be a corner kick on the far side for Madison Central. The Pearl defenders will get set and ready. Everybody tries to match up on somebody. Ball comes in crossing. Bailey Hart goes up, gets a hand on it, but it can't grab it, and it comes right down in front of a Madison Central player who kicks it into the goal. And with 17:50 to go, Madison Central gets on the board 1-0.
That would have been a good time for him to grab it.
It looked like he tried to, maybe couldn't get a hold to it, I don't know. But anyway, it goes right down right in front of a Madison Central player who kicks it in point blank.
What he was probably trying to do is pat it down in front of him so he could gain control of it, but he hit it too far out. And, I mean, that's what what Pearl should have done is pushed everybody out, like right when he kicked it, everybody push out, and they're all offside then.
Right.
So, but it's just that quick thinking you got to do.
But I noticed we had two players standing on the post, though.
Well, that's where they're supposed to be. But
if they stayed there, then you can't have offsides.
You have to step, though.
Okay.
Right when the goalie puts his hands on it, everybody has to step.
Okay.
At least that was what I was taught, so I'm not sure.
Hey, it sounds good to me.
Me too.
Madison Central with a throw-in on the far side. They lead 1-0 now against the Pearl Pirates. That looked like a handball, but...
Yeah, but it goes out, and so it's going to be a Pearl throw-in.
Took 64 minutes for Madison to score.
Took 64 minutes for that first score to take place.
This is the #1 team in the state, so that is coming for, like, they're playing Pearl. Like I said, they're not ranked. That's really good. Like, I'm actually very impressed right now. And every year, seniors leave each team, and they always tell them, well, you're never going to be as good as that team. You're never going to be as good as that team. And this team is really looking really good because last year, before we even pulled out of the parking lot of Madison Central,
that looked like a slip, but we're getting a yellow card.
Daniel Ray with a yellow card. He's going to have to be subbed off of the field, and it looks like Rusty Parrish is about to step on the field for him.
And it really looked to me more like a slip by the Madison Central player, but that's not what the referee saw.
It probably was, but referees have different ideas of calls than we do in any sport.
There's the one that counts, too. So it is a free kick for Madison Central.
Which, at this point, I wouldn't be too worried about the kick.
He's going to hit it high and deep and field goal as it goes between the uprights. But that's well over top of the soccer goal.
But it was a good field goal.
That was a good field goal.
It was good. Although the replacement refs might have said it wasn't.
That's true. Now Bailey Hart will clear it for the Pearl Pirates. And now we're in desperate need of getting the ball back on our end and getting a scores. Right now, Madison Central with an attack. And there's an offsides call. I see the flag come up on the far side.
And the center ref finally sees his AR, or assistant ref, and he stopped it and played it. But since the center ref was not looking, he does not know that the ball was stopped because he was still looking at his AR, which he should not have. He should have been turned around looking at the ball. Because Pearl was trying to do a quick play there and just get it back at Madison Central.
Now Pearl has a chance. The ball got away from the Madison Central player, but we weren't quite prepared for that.
And Chase Williams is going to set it up. And Johan is...
Ball actually hit off of Johan. The goalie's going to run out and grab it. Pearl Fire Department is en route to somewhere in a hurry, going across in front of the Muse Center, which is directly across from our press box position here at Ray Rogers Stadium.
And I hear police sirens going too, so something's going on.
That fire truck probably would have come from Central.
And
takes a shortcut down through here. And I say the lights actually going out on the interstate. So
where the fire chief is Carl Kibbe.
Yep.
Family friend of ours.
Out of bounds on Madison Central. Throw in for Pearl. And they're going out onto the interstate. So something's happened on the interstate. I-20 running.
Well, we might have scared some people if their family's out on the interstate, I-20, heading towards Jackson.
And we've got a collision of two players, and I think they're saying it's against Pearl. It'll be a Madison Central kick.
Well, you said earlier that sometimes refs like to call it against a certain player or against a certain team that
I think
they
you
pick
said
up.
that.
No, you said that while we were at halftime. And it has seemed like this center ref has taken.
That was somebody else in our booth.
That was
I didn't
right.
say that. That was somebody else in our booth.
But it seems like this center ref has taken up favor of Madison Central, which I have noticed in my years of playing that refs really do not like Pearl that much. Any kind of ref. They do not like the.
We've got two fire trucks going down the interstate now, going back west on I-20. As we've got an attack in the goal as Johan's in there.
But Johan cannot get to it fast enough, and they do not turn and look at the attack fast enough. And now Pearl's trying to make up ground that they just lost.
Madison Central clears the ball, and they will get a throw in. We're inside 13 minutes to go. Madison Central leading 1-0. Pearl trying to get the ball back.
And Rusty Parrish tried to go up for a header, but was knocked down by a Madison Central player, and it looked like it could have been a foul, and now it's a Pearl throw in. The ref is saying that it went off of a Madison Central player. And Daniel Ray is being subbed in for Rusty Parrish.
Couple of subs coming in for Pearl. And Madison Central jumps in front of the throw in and heads it back towards their end. It's still bouncing off of players, and finally going to kick it to Bailey Hart, who's going to kick it hard out to the left side. Nobody there but Madison Central.
But Pearl players finally get there, and Madison Central player is down. Looks like number 4, maybe?
That's
14.
14.
Dennis and
Yamali.
The same one we could not pronounce early on the girls'
team.
team.
Have a sister.
I guess so. There's a third fire truck going down I-20 now.
Something's going on west on I-20 here at Pearl between Airport and Pearson Road.
So if you're heading that way, I would take 80. An alternate route. Thank you.
And he is walking off the field. And we're about ready to resume action at midfield.
So they're going to do a drop ball since it was still in play, where he drops it and it has to touch the ground first before you can kick it.
Madison Central controlled it on the drop ball at midfield. And now Pearl will get a kick, and then Madison Central gets a big header from Hulk. It's actually Graham Aldrich. His parents are listening. He might not like us being called Hulk, but, hey.
He throws like a beast. If you're listening, he is very good throwing.
And he kicks that one out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Pirates.
He's powerful. I like throws like a beast, though.
I like power thrower. Now Johan Marion tries to get past the Madison defender. They will get the ball into attack. Kick towards the goal.
And
just over the top.
But that shot on goal was by Devon Wilson, who is I think he's a junior. He's a junior. He's a junior midfielder. And he saw playing time as a sophomore, which is kind of rare in on the varsity squad because, he's fast, he's got good ball skills, and he's got a powerful kick.
Now Madison Central goalkeeper hits it up towards midfield. But Pearl will control it, try to get it back. Madison Central defenders there, though. Dylan Pitts tries to get to it, but can't get his bright green shoes on it.
And a Madison Central player has a breakaway, and Pearl defender, or it looks like, is Daniel Ray has got back and stopped him from getting it, and now Will Roberts clears it out up to Dylan Pitts, who is going to play it up to Johan, who misses it where Connor Brennan gets it and sends it back over to Dylan. and it goes all the way out to Logan Wilmoth. That was a lot of people.
It was.
Very proud of myself for keeping up with that, too.
I'm impressed. Dillon kicks it off a fellow player, and Madison Central will kick it in towards the goalkeeper.
Looks like a foul on Pearl, and Johan fouled a Madison Central player, and he almost got in trouble with the ref, it looked like, with that flapping of the arms.
The referee came in doing it, said, don't you do that anymore. So Johan walks off.
And it sounds like Madison Central parents are asking for a card.
Madison Central has the ball, but Pearl defenders trying to get it out.
Dalton Evans loses the ball to a Madison Central player who looks like he tries to play it up to one of his friends but can't. It looks like a Madison Central player is hurt, or, yeah, he looks like he's limping over there. So it looks like the ref is going to jog, I guess that's what you can call that, back to our keeper, and he's going to roll it back to Bailey Hart and let Bailey play it from there.
Which Bailey had the ball in his hands. Now he's giving it to him and lets him go with it. And Bailey will drop kick it out.
And Connor's going to get it but accidentally send it back to Will Roberts, who sends it up to Chase Williams, gives it to Johan, and Johan has people on him. And it should be a Pearl kick or throw in, am I bad?
No, Johan kicked it.
But it looked like it deflected off of a player.
I didn't think so. And there was a Pearl defender coming over here, didn't think so either. He was trying his best to get to it, but
Will Roberts did try to save that. And he also just got a foul called on him, and knowing him, he's a hothead too. So
Madison Central gets the kick. We're at 6:50 to go. And they're going to kick it deep in and try to attack it, and it's going to get past the Madison Central player and out of bounds.
Goal kick for Pearl.
Goal kick for Pearl. Bailey looks like he's going to try to hurry it up, and he's still got Pearl players with their back to him, but he's going to kick it anyway.
And see, when you're down like this and you have almost 6 minutes left, you want to hurry up, keep the play going fast, keep the ball in play. But
now Madison Central's got a breakaway. Bailey Hart comes out,
and blocks it.
Great job by Bailey, and then the defender clears the ball.
Over to Logan Wilmoth, who misses it, and Madison Central player gets it. Joshua Rowland.
Now Madison Central quickly back on the offensive end. Ball goes high over the top and wide. It'll be a goal kick for Pearl.
That was just a little bit wide of the field goal. There's a motorcycle wreck on I-20 heading towards the stack. So before the Pearson exit, stay tuned for more info.
From where the trucks were coming from going to, I'm going to say it's between Airport and Pearson Road.
And Johan gets fouled.
Number 11, Malik Barakat.
That is a really cool name.
It goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Madison Central, as Johan couldn't control it. Long throw up to midfield.
By the power thrower, it looks like. No, it's not a power thrower. Looks like he's got a brother, Brandon Livingston.
High, deep. Madison Central with an opportunity. Waiting on the ball. Now it comes down. Pearl defenders try to get back.
And most of the Pearl team, except for the two forwards, are getting back, trying to defend their goal, which is usually how it goes.
Be a goal kick for the Pirates. We'll give you some more information on that wreck as we get it. Still ball around midfield. Pearl trying to get it on the offensive end. Clock running down now at 4 minutes to go. So time is running out for Pearl with a chance to come back and get a tie at least. Right now it's down 1-0 to the Madison Central Jaguars. Madison Central with a throw in from the far side. Kicked out of bounds. It'll be a throw in from Madison Central. Now's when we normally see the power thrower. He was not in the game. He's checking back in and going down there to throw.
Being told the motorcycle wreck is at 20
So
and Airport Road.
right now we got the power thrower back in to throw the ball.
And
throws it all the way in deep. Madison Central, though, heads it all the way back out. So
where Pearl can push everybody up the field, which looks like Daniel Scarborough needs to start pushing up the field.
Out of bounds off Madison Central, be a Pearl throw in.
Being told motorcycle.
It ain't at Airport Road because they came in and went that way. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to relay that because that's not right information. Yep. Stands on the far side. We're getting close to who knows how much time's left because we're close to the 2-minute mark. And at that point, again, the clock at the scoreboard will stop, and it'll be up to the official to tell us when the game is over. So Pearl's going to score. They're going to have to do something and do it in a hurry. Johan kicks it up into the Madison Central area.
Chase Williams tries to come over and get it, but is not fast enough.
And right now, Pearl's just kind of scrambling. I don't see anything really set and working for the Pirates right now. They're just kind of like
Only
they're
thing I
scrambling,
see
trying
is
to
set
force something
is
to happen.
Johan keeps running around. I see him running more than anybody else, and I mean, he's going to be tired at the end of the game.
I see a lot of players standing around for the Pirates right now. As I look out there, and it's just not a lot happening. As the Pirates almost as though they've not sure they can get it down there and make it happen.
Now all that Pearl can really do with less than 2 minutes left is just defend their goal and not let Madison Central get another one. Just keep them at 1-0. I mean, I would be satisfied with that going against the number one team.
Now you've got a chance. Johan, if he can get to the ball.
Oh, and he can, but he is hurt.
The ball hit off him hard. A Madison Central player kicked it, went straight into Johan's midsection.
So it looks like he got the wind knocked out of him.
And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Madison Central as Johan's slow getting up, but he's up and now we're looking at the referee. I think they're going to get a substitute from Madison Central. Not sure what we're waiting on.
We're waiting on Madison Central to do a sub, which it looks like the players on the field are going to take their time and just walk out,
They're
walk off.
taking all the time they can get, hoping that they'll just run the clock out and the game be over.
And that's usually what people do. But if you take too long, you can actually get a card for that.
Well, and the referee has his discretion on stoppage time, too, to let it go a little bit longer.
Exactly. But if a player takes it too long doing that, they can get a card. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's good. Madison Central still with the throw in. And it's going to go out of bounds again. I think that's off Madison Central again. Here's what the referee says. Again, we're inside the 2 minutes, so the game could be ending at any moment. Pearl trails 1-0 to Madison Central. Madison Central has it on the offensive end as an offsides by Madison Central. Right at the 20-yard line, Pearl will get a kick.
It looks like Pearl is trying to hurry up and get it. So and he doesn't get it up in the air like he should. And I can see the ref is looking at his watch.
So any minute now, we're going to get the whistle for the end of the game.
But Pearl has played their heart out tonight, and they should be proud of how they have played.
Maybe this may be the last chance as we lose possession of the ball, trying to get it back. But Madison Central got it, and that's going to be the ball game. No,
that is a foul, which
a yellow card.
But see,
goes against Daniel Scarborough,
where he got fouled earlier, but then they did not call it. But it looks like Chase Williams is trying to tell the ref that, but the ref is not going to listen to a player. I can tell you that much.
So anyway, it'll be a free kick for Madison Central.
It's like Chrissy Rash is telling him, thank you for keeping your cool and just walking off like you're supposed to.
That's exactly right.
And that's all you can do in a situation like that is keep your cool because let the other person get the card.
Now Madison Central gets the free kick. They'll kick it to the right side where a Pearl defender heads the ball back out in the Pearl direction. It'll go out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Madison Central. And again, we see the referee look at his watch.
And I think he's about to call it because he keeps putting his whistle right up to his mouth.
I think we got a throw-in. We do have a throw-in for Madison Central. They throw it in quickly, kick it high into the air towards the middle of the field. And, of course, Madison Central right now, they're just main thing. They want to just keep it away from Pearl. And that is going to be the end of the game. Pearl will lose to Madison Central by a score of 1-0. Madison Central improves to 4-0-1. Pearl falls to 2-2. But, Danielle, I've got to say, we talked about it. Fantastic game, I think, by the Pearl Pirates. They didn't win, didn't tie, but you held the number one team in the state for 64 minutes without scoring, and then they only scored one goal. So I'm thinking all together a great game by the Pearl Pirates tonight.
They should not be upset with how they played because they played really well, and they held them until the 64th minute with a tie. So, I mean, just come out to practice tomorrow and be ready to work your butts off again.
Yep, I think all in all a great game tonight by the Pearl Pirates. Two great games. The Lady Pirates, of course, fall to Madison Central 6-0, number 2 team in the state. The boys by a score of 1-0 to the number 1 team in the state. It's been a lot of fun tonight. Our first full broadcast of Pearl Pirates soccer. Danielle, Poe, glad to have you with me tonight. It's a lot of fun.
I actually did have fun. I was nervous, I will tell you that.
Were you really?
I
You didn't
really
show.
Well, it's just like having a conversation with you.
That's all it is, a conversation.
Interrupting you every now and then.
We'll do this again on November the 27th, our next broadcast of any sport here at Pearl High School. And the Pearl Pirates will be taking on the Clinton Arrows right here at Ray Rogers Stadium. We'll be here to bring you that broadcast, so make sure and join us then. It's been a lot of fun tonight. Thanks to our camera operators. I think it was a group committee down there, the Williams clan, operating the camera tonight. I think it was Jerry, Braden, and Cody, all three taking turns. But thanks to them for operating the camera. Frank Hutton, our executive producer. Thanks to all of them making it possible. Thanks to Danielle tonight. Great job sitting in and providing some expert color analysis of tonight's game. I appreciate that.
Didn't realize how much I really knew about the sport until I got up here.
And could actually say it. That was pretty good.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I've never put that into words.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Again, we look forward to having you back here with us on the 27th. We'll bring you Pearl soccer action against the Clinton Arrows. Until then, for everybody involved, thanks for watching. I'm DP saying good night, everybody. Trucks got on the interstate and went west.
Guess who his source is?
Who?
James Thompson.